You are listening to the Bitter Medicine Podcast on KWAZ Radio. Welcome to the Bitter Medicine Podcast, where it's all about Black empowerment. Our show focuses on Black news and entertainment, arts, science, economics, history, people, and strategies that uplift, empower, and motivate Africans within the diaspora. And now, your host, who's
Yeah. I'm your host, filling in for Koku today. My name is Jacadero, here on Shoot the Breeze episode 202. Make some noise. Filling in for Koku today. Once again, my name is Jacadero, and this is Shoot the Breeze on the Bitter Medicine Podcast. Man, do we have a show for you? Make sure that if you want, you can go ahead and always comment in the comment section. Also join us here on the panel. That's right. You that's listening, that's watching. You can join us on the panel here. Click the link in the chat to experience what it's like to be a panelist, and also join our Discord, the Bitter Medicine Podcast Discord. There's 99 members. Could you be the 100th? Could you? Huh? Is that you? Are you sure? Huh? Well, Bitter Medicine Podcast, by the way, is part of a larger network. And to talk more about that, let's go ahead and let's pay some bills and have you guys recognize who they are.
You are listening to the Bitter Medicine Podcast on KWAZ Radio.
This is D Webb with the Harsh Reality Podcast, asking you to tune in where we tackle the news of the day that affects our community, only on KWAZ Radio.
Peace, family. This is Oni, inviting you to listen to the Pro-Black Perspective, where Black problems are addressed with Black solutions.
Greetings, fam. Tune in to The Learning Curve with me, the Revolutionary Matron on KWAZ Radio.
You are listening to the Bitter Medicine Podcast on KWAZ Radio.
Yeah, once again, I'm Jacadero, filling in for Brother Koku here on Shoot the Breeze, episode 202. Man, it feels so good to be here. Feels so good to be with you guys, the Pan-African nationalists. And man, I can't say this enough. It's an honor being here, and it's even an honor, even more, that I was entrusted by Koku to bring you guys all this flavor. And once again, let's congratulate Koku in the Bitter Medicine Podcast for Shoot the Breeze episode 202. Woo! Hey! All right. And once again, if you would like to be a panelist on today's panel, go ahead and click the link in the chat. Once again, I'm Jacadero filling in for Brother Koku. What do we got on today's episode of Shoot the Breeze? Well, we're talking about haters. That's right. Haters. African haters? Haters. Are Black inventors safe in the United States? Also, can African leaders get a damn backbone? Can they get a bone? Can they grow a spine? And then, is there another method that we could use as far as labor amongst Black people worldwide, especially in the Caribbean and Africa? This and so much more. Well, beginning today, we got our first Shoot the Breeze topic. That's right. It is the critique of this necessary, or are we simply haters? Are we a hater? Are we a hater? Huh? Once again, if you want to join the panel, go ahead and click the link that's in the chat. If you want to go ahead and just chat, please feel free to do so. We also have a Discord, so anytime that this show ends, that's right, it's only once a week, you can go ahead and join the Discord where we can talk everything Pan-African nationalist. We say what's up to Trigger Happy. Trigger Happy says, peace, peace, peace. Trigger Happy, what's going on? I know you're about to make me laugh here throughout this entire episode of Shoot the Breeze. And back to our topic. At Shoot the Breeze topic number 1, is critique of this necessary? Or we simply haters? Are we haters? Are we haters? Let's find out. This goes with the video prompt as well. Again, are we haters? Let's find out.
This Cuban is 101. They ain't got this one. See the diamond? Sheesh. That's what you call IB. 7-figure shit. God damn! Hey, why? Well. Oh, no. This Cuban is 101. They ain't got this one. See the diamond? Sheesh. That's what you call IB. 7-figure shit. God damn! Hey, why? Well. Oh, no.
Woo! And that's for those of you guys, once again, that is Shoot the Breeze topic number 1. That's a clip to go with the prompt. And it is the critique of this necessary? Or are we simply haters? In that video, that is Afrobeat star, Nigerian pop star Davido. Hey, all right. Let's not get this show copyright. Before we get into the critique, because come on, we gotta have panelists. I don't have any panelists. What's wrong with you guys, huh? Let's say what's up to the chat. Like I said, Trigger Happy says peace, peace, peace. Trigger Happy. Afro World says Hotep, Shemiem Hotep, Uncle Jasa Neb. What's up, Afro World? How you doing? Once again, if you want to be part of the show, go ahead. Come on. You know, for those that are just joining in, let's actually watch that Shoot the Breeze prompt one more time. Again, Shoot the Breeze prompt is critique of this necessary? Are we simply haters? Are we a hater? Are we a hater? Let's go ahead and let's watch that a few more times. Just bear with me here.
Sheesh. That's what you call IB. 7-figure shit. God damn! Hey, why? Well. Oh, no. This Cuban is 101. They ain't got this one. See the diamond? Sheesh. That's what you call IB. 7-figure shit. God damn! Hey, why? Well.
Hey, all right. And once again, this is Shoot the Breeze, episode 202. Let's see here. We don't have any panelists, so while we go ahead and try to figure out why we don't have any panelists, we are going to say what's up to everybody else in the chat here. And again, that's Trigger Happy says peace, peace. Afro World says Hotep. Uncle Josh and Neb. What's going on? And Black Steel. First, welcome to the show. How are you? And what say you? Is the critique of this necessary? Are we simply haters?
I don't think. I mean, we're looking at conspicuous consumption. Somebody bought a chain that apparently was worth at least a couple $1 million, right? If you look at it, you know, I don't know who this person is. If they're a millionaire, they're a rapper or whatnot. People are gonna buy stupid stuff when they get a lot of money, right? People buy houses and cars and jewelry and all type of crazy stuff. it's unfortunate, but at the same time, it's to be expected, right? We live in a consumer culture. We live in a culture that is driven by materialism. So it's not going to be a surprise when people are materialistic in a materialistic culture. It could be a car they can't afford, or diamonds or jewelry, but this is something that is just a very common behavior from people living in a materialist world, right? And the materialism is just so absurd that people just, they feel the need to spend their money on these things. Um, I don't know. I'm not in the business of hating on anybody. I don't think it's a hater thing just to acknowledge that people spend their money on things. I don't know what this is. Is it a critique of materialism? Is it a critique of conspicuous consumption? What exactly would we be critiquing? But overall, I just think that rich people do things with their money that poor people really can't afford to do. Um, should they use it better? Yeah, they should. But this is the reality of the world we live in. So those are just my thoughts on that. I just feel like this dude probably just has a lot of money, just spending his money the way he And the thing is, when we talk about the way that people want, understand that our desires and the things that we go after are very specifically designed through propaganda, through media, through the control of information. So they kind of tailor our desires, right? And you can start to see this. I know that certain things become popular very quickly through entertainment media, and then they become unpopular. At one point, everybody was walking around here with a certain type of phone. If you don't have this phone, you're broke. Even though both phones are made in the same place with the same components, but that brand name means everything. Everybody was going crazy for these little Stanley cups. There's just water, just cups of water. Just metal cups you put your water in. But all of a sudden, the Stanley Cup was the cool thing to have. Tomorrow it'll be something else. It's just rampant consumerism is control and manipulation of people's desires and wants. I don't know if I can critique it anymore
Yeah,
than
well,
that.
Black Steel. I mean, let's because it's just us, right? It's the Black Steel show today. How about that? Huh? How you like that?
All right.
So you said that it's materialism, but you don't know who that rapper is, or you don't know who that individual is. He's not a rapper. Excuse me. Let me put some goddamn respect on
Do you
his
know who he is?
Yes, his name is Davido. Hold on. Let you hear.
Oh, I know him. Okay.
And so that's Davido. And so Davido hails from Nigeria. And also I want to bring one other aspect to this. I think it was a poet. He's now deceased. He has passed away with the ancestors, so to speak. But there was a poet a while ago, a long time ago. You probably recognize this poet. And he said this, speaking about Black people liking all this jewelry. Did you catch that, Black Steel?
I didn't, but I know that song. I know it.
So for those that didn't catch it, that's Pimp C, Chad Butler. I'm gonna call him Chad Butler. How they say it in that movie Coming to America, his mama named him Chad, so I'm gonna call him Chad. And he says the reason why we like all this jewelry, I just got out of bondage, but the reason why we like all this jewelry is because we're really from Africa. We really descendants from kings and queens. It's in our DNA. What you say about that, Black Steel? What you say about that aspect? Does he have a foot on the ground? Does he? I mean, is he excused from liking the big jewelry?
I feel like people maybe try to disguise their materialism in African, kente cloth, right? But it is what it is. I mean, this idea that black people want to wear chains because we all descendants of kings and queens. First of all of us ain't descendants of kings and queens. There wasn't that many kings and queens running around Africa. There was a couple farmers, there were some fishermen, people who grew rice and whatnot, but every one of us was not descended from kings and queens. That's one. Two, I don't see. Again, I don't know how much money he spent on the necklace. I don't necessarily see that what he's doing is wrong or anything is inappropriate. I just kind of feel like, he's doing what rich people do, spend their money stupidly. I'm assuming he has some level of wealth. He can afford a 7-figure chain. I hope he's very careful with it. He's setting up to be a target to be robbed. And the thing is, especially for our people, right? Many young people don't see the value in saving for the future because they don't think they're going to be here. So the idea is that spend it while we have it. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. That's the type of mentality some people have. I think it speaks to some larger issues that we have in our society. But overall, that's just how I look at it personally. I know everybody may not agree with me, but yeah, I don't think that. Look at the people who buy those Ferraris, right? It costs like $3,000 for oil change for your car, right? You got to have special equipment to just to drive it. It's all type of nonsense. I think comes from that.
My rent is close to $3,000. So you're saying my rent is about the same price as an oil change for a specific vehicle, huh?
Oh yeah. But we wouldn't know about that because we're just regular people.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you, but Chad Butler said that I come from kings and queens black steel. So I don't know about regular. You understand?
Yes, well, good for you. Good for you. I'm glad that you come from kings and queens.
You gonna get an air horn for that, man? Let's
talk. Happy said something in the chat. Our rich would never give up money to live for their race at the end of the day, and it was just the issue. Listen. No rich person. There's not a single rich person on earth willing to give up their money for uplift their race. Rich people. They did a study, right, about the wealthy, how wealthy people see the world. Once you get to a certain level of wealth, you don't see the world the way other people do. You don't have the obstacles in your way the way other people do. So these people don't identify, and this is why class consciousness is so important, right? Because what's something that we severely lack is class consciousness. We understand the racial aspect, but we don't always get the class aspect. In order for somebody who's in a class aspect, right, and class consciousness, they would have to commit class suicide. So rich white people ain't about to do nothing that's going to jeopardize their finances, right? They'll use poor white people. They will definitely feed them into the meat grinder, but doing something to help their race, no, they're not doing that. They don't even think like that. Their race is rich. Once you get to a certain level, that 1% of wealth, you don't see that is doing anything for anybody except for to secure your wealth. Some people don't give money to their children. So you got people like Bill Gates who's worth billions of dollars saying he's not even going to leave money to his kids. They got to figure it out when they get up there. They got to figure it out. So I don't see any person committing class suicide by spending their money and doing anything. Like, we talk about Jay-Z or anybody, Beyonce. Beyonce's gonna go with her, gonna go with side her bread is buttered on. She knows where her money's coming from, and she's not gonna risk that. That's the whole thing about being class conscious. She doesn't care. You think what Elon Musk gives a fuck about the poor people in Appalachia? You think Donald Trump gives a shit about them coal miners in the mountains dying from black lung that voted for him? No, because he's rich. He's rich. So, I kind of feel like This is how you get rich. You don't get rich by giving away money. You don't keep wealth by giving money to. They might donate to a charity. Give some money to a school or something like that. But look what happened with Kanye's school. It was a joke. He wasn't doing. The kids weren't learning shit. It's Kanye's school. LeBron James come out with a school, and if you're lucky, you might win the lottery and go there, and but for the most part, wealthy, rich people don't get rich by reaching back and helping other people.
Ooh, true indeed, man. Let's read some of the chat here. Trigger Happy says, let's start from the beginning here. Trigger Happy says, remember, we were talking about funding the revolution, referring to last week's Shoot the Breeze topic prompt. And he said, why don't we just steal Davido's chin? Trigger Happy? Trigger Happy. Trigger Happy, something wrong with you, man. Joe says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Joe. What's going on? Trigger Happy says, I'm just joking for the most part, but the point is, the rich is too rich. Ooh. Pocket watcher we got in the chat, huh? Wardrum says, what's up, peace? Wardrum, what's going on? Trigger Happy also adds, our rich would never give up money to lift their race at the end of the day, which is the issue. I guess I could. There was an episode of Atlanta.
Think about this, Jackadero.
Yeah, go ahead.
When the Black Panthers were organizing the survival programs, feeding kids and whatnot, they would go around to Black grocery stores to collect food and whatnot. They had to threaten some of those Black business owners into giving money.
Is that true? I did not know that.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Tina Turner, she was still with Ike Turner, right?
Yeah.
They didn't want to give no money. They had to threaten them to give up money because they didn't want to give up their money. They had to literally be threatened.
Is that why she went to Switzerland or someplace?
Yeah, she's always been a coon, man. If we really want to get
down. Black Spell. Daily Affirmation says, good evening. What's going on? Daily Affirmations. Trigger Happy also agrees with you, Black Steel. He says that, yep, that's true. My question to you, Black Steel, and maybe Trigger Happy as well, is like, if I am a business owner and I've been operating this mom and pop shop, whether barber shop, grocery store, mechanic, auto shop, hell, even like a photography studio, why should I give up some of my earnings? Let's say you have no idea what my client list is. You have no idea what I'm making after the books, after tax and bookkeeping. Why should I give it to the Black Panthers? Black Steel?
Because you Black. Like, does it really have to be deeper than that? The reality is, especially in that historical period,
I like that.
We're all in the same boat together, right? We all in the same boat. We're all going through stuff, right, as African people. So if you're in the community, you're community oriented, you got to do what's best to work within that community. It behooves you to support other Black people because they are your customer base. If you piss off your customers, they don't come see you, they can then go to your competition, right? It's to me, it makes common sense that you should donate, because if you don't, then you get boycotts, then you get people refusing to operate your business, to chop your business. You bring more problems than you solve by just being a stingy bastard, right?
Woof. All right. Lero says, peace, loved ones. Lero, peace, and blessings. Lero, you want to be on the panel tonight? I mean, I think this would be the second week. If we don't get a woman on today's panel, it would be 2 weeks in a row. We don't get a woman. Come on, Lero. Think about it. Also to any other women, Joy, anybody else that's listening. You're a woman, you want to get on the panel? Come on. Trigger Happy says that, to me, it all depends on that individual rich person and their political education, Jacadero. I would also say that's why we need leaders, because they would pressure you to give money. Oof, that P word, putting the pressure. Anthony checks in. What's up, Anthony? And he gives a big shout out to KWAZ Radio, KWAZ Radio, Koku, Buana, Black Steel, Pro Black Perspective, Deep Web, Forecast Radio, Cassandra, Tanzan, BBN, Kofi, The Black Critic. Peace, everybody. A BB Hodie. I'll be up in a minute. Yeah. Trigger Happy says Black Panthers also pressured James Brown to make that Black Power song that he made. Really? I did not know this. He made, I think, okay. You want to send me a source? I'd love to see it, Trigger Happy. You definitely need a combination of pressure and political education, which reminds me, Carlos Cooks of the African Nationalist Pioneer Movement was known to direct his officers to pressure people into buying black in Harlem. He often said that, the Italian neighborhoods have Italian businesses. The Polish neighborhood have Polish businesses. The Jewish neighborhood have Jewish businesses. The Chinese neighborhoods have Chinese businesses. But the black neighborhoods, we have everybody's businesses. And the black businesses, they are often not patronized by black patrons. And so he would do his best to identify or have his officers identify individuals that were coming out of, like, let's say, a Chinese restaurant. And, if you had a General Tso's chicken, on your breath, you might meet a baton across your dome, huh? Well, that being said, that was Shoot the Breeze topic number 1. Here is Shoot the Breeze topic number 2. It follows 2 videos, but the prompt is, are Black inventors at risk living in the U.S.? Once again, Shoot the Breeze topic number 2. Are Black inventors at risk living in the U.S.? And this goes with 2 video prompts. The Black inventor that we are going to watch on both video prompts, his name is Julian Brown. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look. Stand by.
Fuel from plastic waste. Let's go. So this is plastic crude oil. And as you can see, we have quite a bit of this plastic crude oil. Well, it can be fuel, but we need to refine it and clean it up. So let's do it.
We're going to go ahead and play that once again. This is Black inventor Julian Brown.
So I've created my own gas station that makes fuel from plastic waste. Let's go. So this is plastic crude oil. And as you can see, we have quite a bit of this plastic crude oil. Well, it can be fuel, but we need to refine it and clean it up. So let's do it.
All right. And once again, that was Julian Brown, inventor Julian Brown. He takes plastic and turns it into crude oil, plastic waste, and turns it into crude oil for fuel. The second video that we have with the Shoot the Breeze topic number 2 prompt, are Black inventors at risk living in the U.S.? It is Julian Brown once again. Let's take a look.
I can't go into too much detail, but there is some very, very odd stuff going on. I'm certainly under attack right now from in many different ways, and I just want everybody to know to just kind of have your eyes open. And I have my eyes open, but there's a lot going on. So I'm still working. I'm still building. Nothing's gonna stop that. But I'm just telling you guys right now, be on the lookout because I'm under attack. All right, listen, everybody. I can't go into too much detail, but there is some very, very odd stuff going on. I'm certainly under attack right now from in many different ways, and I just want everybody to know to just kind of have your eyes open. And I have my eyes open, but there's a lot going on. So I'm still working. I'm still building. Nothing's gonna stop that. But I'm just telling you guys right now, be on the lookout because I'm under attack.
And that was inventor Julian Brown. The first video that we had watched was him taking plastic waste and making it into crude oil for fuel. And the second video we watched was apparently him indirectly stating that he was in danger and that he was, quote unquote, concerned about his safety and well-being. Before we get into the panelists, if you want to be a panelist, go ahead and click in the chat. Make sure that you can get your voice heard, but if you just want to stay in the chat and chat amongst the viewers, go ahead and do so. Let's read some of these comments. Trigger Happy says, relating back to the reference of Carlos Cooks in the last prompt, yeah, at the end of the day, you would have to get something going one way or another. Carlos Cooks probably understood that those black businesses would be important for organization. True indeed. Trigger Happy says, I think so. You don't go through all that learning and revert unless circumstances and pressure push him there, or maybe even pessimism, relating and responding back to Afro World. Trigger Happy, in response to hopefully this Shoot the Breeze prompt number 2, says, if he would have lived longer, maybe he would have helped keep alive Garveyites in the Dominican Republic. So it all depends on the possibilities. All right. Well, we could get into relating in a response to Shoot the Breeze topic number 2, are black inventors at risk living in the U.S.? Black Steel, looks like it is just your show so far. If you want to be a panelist, please go on ahead. Black Steel, what say you from watching those 2 videos relating to topic number 2's prompt? Are black inventors at risk living in the U.S.?
I think it depends on what you invent, right? Anything that you invent that could be potentially dangerous or could be seen as dangerous by certain individuals, yeah, you probably could be at threat. Because right now, most cars are usually ran by fossil fuels. You know, there's a fossil fuel monopoly. Trillions of dollars. You know, it's the lifeblood of our civilization. If you invent something that could be a replacement to fossil fuels, it could be seen as a threat. It could be, and they could deal with you. But more than likely, they're not going to kill you. You're just going to take your invention and repurpose it or just bury it, right? So at one point, for example, in the United States, you know, there were electric streetcars. Electric cars were very big in the 1920s, and they got rid of them. They just disappeared. They mothballed them because they want you dependent on cars. So something that could threaten the monopoly that the fossil fuel industry has could definitely be seen as a threat, and you probably would have your life put in danger. I just wonder why I don't know why he didn't think of that. I don't know. I'm like, that didn't occur to you that there might be some people who don't want you to do this? So you can't put everything online. Everything can't be online. Everything is not meant for everybody, right? If that was something you wanted to do, right? And I think, and the truth is that there's a lot of technology out here that could supplant fossil fuels, right? But because so many industries rely on it, it's going to be very difficult to remove those. So you're making something that, like a car that runs on water, right? No, they're not going to let a car that runs on water. You serious? When we're literally pumping all this crude oil in Alaska, in Saudi Arabia, in the Persian Gulf, and you think they're going to, and the world's reserve currency to purchase oil is the US dollar, they're not going to let him do that. So yeah, they're going to threaten your life. I'm wondering why you didn't think they were going to threaten your life. Of course they're going to threaten your life. Is he new here? Are you new? They're like, they killed the dude who, I mean, they kill people all the time. So I'm just a little confused about why this is a shocking revelation to him. Yeah, they're not gonna let you make no invention like that. A longer lasting light bulb? What? You serious? They're not gonna let that go down. So yeah, I'm not surprised, but at the same time, like, you got to be prepared for stuff like that. You got to be prepared. Somebody say he needs to be in Africa. I don't even know if he would be safe in Africa, because think how much money BP makes in Nigeria, taking oil from the Niger Delta, right? You really think they're not above sending somebody to kill this young man with this new invention? You know, and it would be a great help, but I think that because of if this device gets out the way that it's supposed to, it could destroy the richest industry in the world. That's just my thoughts on it. I think that definitely, depending on what you invent. Now, if you invent something like a better, longer lasting cell phone battery, they probably just buy you out. Hey, we like this invention. We'll pay you, $10 million for it, and they'll just do that. So I think that yeah, just got to be smart, man. Everything shouldn't be online. Everybody should know everything you're doing. That's what this new generation has a problem with. They want to get on the phone, they want to go live on Instagram and reveal everything. You can't do that. Sorry, can't do that. So I'll leave it there. Thanks.
I appreciate it, Black Steel. Some responses to Shoot the Breeze topic number 2. Cheryl says, I know particularly with this man, referring to inventor Julian Brown, who creates fuel from plastic waste. Cheryl says, I know particularly with this young man, his life was actually threatened. She adds, someone tried to sabotage his car so he would crash. Trigger Happy says, we need him in Africa too, because anyone fighting or figuring out how to get rid of waste will be a valuable asset, and they need to kickstart their work in Africa, in my opinion. But that's if he values Africa. Well, what's awesome, Black Steel, is that we are not the only ones. It's not just the Black Steel show. Today, we also have panelists, and a panelist that I want to get to before Anthony. We haven't seen this guy in some time. Buona, first, welcome to the show. And what say you, my guy?
Hey guys, Jackadell, Jackadell, can you hear me?
I can hear you very clear, my guy. What's going
on? I'm sorry I'm late, fellas. I got a whole lot of things going on right now. I sent a message to Koku, but yeah, I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'll wait for the second prompt.
Oh my God!
I have no clue what's going on. Shout out to you. Shout out to Black Steel. Shout out to Anthony. I hope everything is well with your brothers, man.
All right. We'll come back to you. Anthony, first, welcome to the show. Brother, are you familiar with the Shoot the Breeze topic number 2, are Black inventors at risk living in the U.S.?
Yeah. Can you hear me, brother?
Very well.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I think I heard about it. I think I heard it on IG, I think. But I mean, pretty much, Black Steel pretty much covered everything, though, man. You know what I'm saying? About the reasons, the reasons that you could be, you could be in, you could get in some kind of mess with them, like I said when Black Steel was talking about the fossil fuels and everything. But I mean, the most important thing that Black Steel said to me you know, is and I agree 100%. Is we got a big mouth, man. You know what I'm saying? We got a big mouth. We run our damn mouth too much. You know, we want to be the first Negro. You know, it's that first Negro syndrome and stuff. Like, I'm not necessarily saying this about the brother, but I'm saying like we want to be recognized by them, by the by the big people. You know what I'm saying? Look what I came up with, man. You know, like instead of like doing what we're doing, hey, and let that work for your community. You know what I'm saying? I mean, make it accessible. Keep it on the low. Make it accessible to your people. In your community. You know what I'm saying? And you could be supported like that instead of like, well, damn, I got to go out. Like a lot of times we'll say, well, let me go and go to the GE or to whatever big company, and pitch this at them, man. Maybe I can get me a deal like 50 Cent or somebody. You know what I'm saying? And get rich off of this stuff instead of like just keeping it low profile, man. Keep it among us. You know what I'm saying? Letting your people support you. Because that is something that we can get behind. You know what I'm saying? It is something that could work for us specifically too, as well as for other people too. But I think that, man, we just need to close our mouth sometime and like you say, man, everything don't need to be broadcast, all the time. No, we could it's just like like when the brothers say about the revolution, the revolution not being televised. Everything don't need to be televised. Everything don't need to be broadcast. No, we ain't got to get on Twitter or whatever and tell everything we do. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it on the low, man. But yeah, I mean, I understand. I sympathize with him. The situation that he's in, because I don't really know 100%. What he's going through, but I can respect it and I can sympathize with him. But like sometimes, sometimes it's good to like keep things on the low, man. I just leave it. I'll leave it right there, man.
I appreciate it, Anthony, and welcome to the show once again. And also, again, Juana, welcome to the show. And yeah, Black Steel, what say you? Do we talk too much? Do we need to keep it on the low? Do we need to do?
Of course we do. Everything is for public consumption. And the thing is, we really don't even got to talk this much. It's not like, we already know the Patriot Act. They bug your phone. They listen to your conversations. They read your emails. They read your text messages. Right? Of course they know. So my thing is this a whole is like, hey, look what I've invented. Like, did he not realize the stuff he was doing? But not just that, people get online. It's just need for recognition. Somebody get online and they'll post themselves killing somebody. They'll post themselves robbing somebody. They'll do everything not realizing they're under surveillance. It's a cultural thing. Hey, everybody, look at me. Like somebody didn't get enough attention from their parents when they were little, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I'll leave it there.
A question to you, Black Steel, is and Anthony, and maybe even the rest of the chat. If we don't get the message out on whatever it is that we're doing, whether it's inventions, whether it's financial need, whether it's military might, how do people know? How are they going to know? Well, I ask this just because Instagram is one of the larger social media platforms owned by Facebook, quote unquote, Meta. And it's like, well, my reach is probably going to be the greatest over there. So how does one come across trying to get the most reach without, like you say, being on the radar?
I mean, I'll let somebody else answer this one. I want to think about this for a minute.
Go ahead, Anthony.
Okay, I'm gonna give you this example right here, and it's gonna hit close to home with you, Jacadero.
Go ahead. I'm all ready for you. You and Buana today. I'm ready for you and Buana today. Go ahead.
Hey man, you my brother, man. I ain't got no problem with you, man. But check it out.
It's all love.
This what I'm saying. This what I'm saying though. Okay, and see that's a good question, but this is I'm a related to this right here. In the 1950s in Kenya, our people had a liberation struggle, a liberation movement going on in Kenya, right? Remember, against the British. Our people, the Kenyan Land and Freedom Army, right?
Yeah, the Mau against.
Okay, now check this out. Remember when Malcolm had this speech where he was talking about the Mau. And he's saying that in Kenya, the white man was going around asking black people, man, y'all know who the Mau is? Who are the Mau? What are Mau? asking them about the Mau Mau, and every kid would say, I don't know, I never heard of them, boss. You know what I'm saying? That's what he would
Yeah.
at the kid would say, I've never heard of them, boss. And Malcolm said, and that white and that brother or that sister who told him that he never heard of him, he said he got boss head when boss went to bed. Okay, now what I'm saying is, the British went around asking about the Mau Mau, and then no Kenyan know about the Mau Mau, but every Kenyan knew who the Mau Mau was. You know what I'm saying? Because they kept it among themselves. They kept their mouth closed. This was our thing. This is a closed mouth thing. This ain't, we don't be going talking to them other people, to everybody. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? The white folks feared the Mau Mau all over Kenya. You know what I'm saying? They were seeing Mau Mau even when there wasn't no Mau Mau somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that's how they did it. We kept it among ourselves. We didn't go and broadcast it and everything. You know what I'm saying? We kept it among ourselves. We kept it on the low, on the down low. But you know what? But it was still effective, and it eventually led to us getting some kind of independence. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? So I related to that right there, man. Okay, like I said, we gotta get in our mind, like when we have an idea like that, we gotta get in our mind. We gotta get out of like the individual type thing, or to go and make money type thing necessarily. You know what I'm saying? And I just see the dollar signs first, or just see this gonna make me good first. No, we gotta look at it like, okay, it's gonna be good for me, but it's gonna be good for my people first. And with it being good for my people, it's gonna be good for me because they're gonna support me. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like, you know what I'm saying, Jacadero, I got to go to this big corporation and sell out to them. You know what I'm saying? And get money off of it. And then, you know, what they end up doing, taking your shit, co-opting it, and they making more money, making more than what you had off of it. You know what I'm saying? Instead, I think that we need to work with our people, man. You know, invest in our people. We always talking about the black community here, or black community in Africa, how much money we get and how much potential we got. Whatever, our black buying power and everything. But goddamn it, let's use some of it, but use it the right way. You know what I'm saying? Use it to help us. You know, just use it to help us, to benefit our community. You know what I'm saying? I mean, use it. You know what I'm saying? And work with your people. Go among your people, man. You know what I'm saying? Go among your people. If I'm in Kenya and I'm a Kikuyu man, I mean, I'm not just gonna go among the Kikuyu people and sell my shit. Hell, man, I'm gonna go among the luau and the Anchola, everybody else. Let's make it good for all our people. And see, and I'm saying that's how. I mean, valuing our people, valuing our dollar power, our money power, our financial power. You know, to make things good for us. I know blacks still ain't gonna like me talking about that capitalism shit. But I'm just saying, us valuing us in our own worth. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gotta necessarily go sell out to the big company. You know, we gotta see. I think we can see the value within us, our own people. You know what I'm saying? To make this be a thing. This is something that we do, and it's working for us, and it's benefiting us and our children, our families. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think if we look at it like that, instead of just immediately seeing the big dollar sign or immediately just seeing the individual thing and just seeing it as a us thing and our people, I think that's how you do that, Jacadero. You know, if that make any kind of sense to you, and I knock off right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was I'm kind of I shouldn't be surprised because you're very knowledgeable, but I was taken aback by you using the analogy with the Mau Mau and how it was hush hush, even when everybody knew that everybody knew. Juana, I know that you didn't know too much about the prompt for topic number 2, but from the conversation that we're having at the moment, what say you? Do you agree? Do you disagree as well?
No. I think that Black Steel is right when Black Steel says that when he talks about privacy and being careful of what you put out there. I think it all goes back to what we was taught growing up, or what I was taught growing up. Think before you speak, think before you act. And I think that sometimes, directly and indirectly, we are doing things, to the world, exposing things to the world that we need to think about first before we just decide to put online or put on cameras and let the whole world see. And me personally, sometimes when I'm online and I may hear something or I might see something that I might not particularly like, instead of me responding to it right away, I think about it first. I try myself not to be carried away by my emotions, and I think about it first, and I think about the effect of what it could do if I was just to just respond to it just like that. And I think that people and how they use this tool, they could either empower the world or they could destroy it. Unfortunately, you see in our communities being destroyed by the use of this tool right now. Some idiot person right now coming online and creating all kind of drama and destruction between legitimate communities because of his own selfish gain in nature. But he ain't really consider the consequences of these things. And with the internet right now, nothing so much is a secret. Nothing is a secret. I mean, it's very hard to hide certain things, especially with Elon Musk having access to all our social security numbers. Oh goodness, you have access to all our social security cards information. But what you could get away with, you try to get away with. And I feel like we should consider things before we put out things out here to the mass public, because it could be very detrimental to our communities, the communities we say that we love and we want to maintain. I think you have to think before you speak and think before you act. That's an important thing for me. But I'll stop right there because I don't want to ramble.
Man, you guys are on point today. Woo! I don't know what's going on today, but man, I usually try to be somebody to challenge, but you guys are on point today. Let's see what the chat has to say about Shoot the Breeze topic number 2. Trigger Happy says, I would say that the only thing that you could say that ensures the ripe conditions for revolution in Latin America is that it's much poorer than the U.S. and Canada. Trigger Happy also adds in that the black buying power has to be organized. True indeed. Trigger Happy also adds that some would argue black buying power is a myth, which I can understand. Trigger Happy, if you ever ready to get on the panel, please feel free. And that goes for the rest of you guys that are listening as well, the rest of you guys in the chat. I encourage you guys, especially the women, Lero, Cheryl, and any other woman that's watching out there, feel free. Cheryl adds in, brother smart, but I can't almost guarantee he got too many white friends, and that can be dangerous. Hopefully he doesn't. The videos that I follow his account on social media, and he looks like he lives off grid. So I was even surprised to see that video come across my feed, because he looked like he initially lived he initially operated his plastic waste to fuel machine in a residential site. So, and then he transferred because he said that the way that he was operating, it was getting too dangerous according to city ordinances. So he moved. I'm not sure where, but it looks like it's pretty off grid. Again, how off grid, I don't know. But yeah, if any of you guys can get a hold of that brother and, do what you guys can, because, I know that I'm going off script here by being the host, but, a brother like that is smart. Whether or not he wants to move to Africa, the Caribbean, or anywhere else outside the United States, that's a brother that, man, could definitely benefit from even, I hate to use the D word, but donations. So, see what you guys can do. I try as much as I can to reach out to that brother, because the Empowerment Network would love to have an individual like that. Unfortunately, he doesn't respond to any of our messages. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and let's move on to Shoot the Breeze topic number 3. And that is, can African leaders grow a damn backbone? Can African leaders grow a damn backbone? This is followed with 2 videos for this prompt. Once again, I am Jacadero filling in for host Koku. Here, this is Shoot the Breeze episode 202. And the topic for Shoot the Breeze number 3 is, can African leaders grow a damn backbone? Let's watch video 1, and then we'll watch video 2 that goes along with this. Stand by.
And also, we want to encourage American involvement in the investment in Liberia. We'd like to see that happen. We want to work with the United States in peace and security within the region because we are committed to that. And we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you. And such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's very interesting. That's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well,
Very
and
good, sir. Thank you.
they come from here. So thank you very much.
We'll play that once again.
And also, we want to encourage American involvement in the investment in Liberia. We'd like to see that happen. We want to work with the United States in peace and security within the region because we are committed to that. And we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you. And such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's very interesting. That's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well,
Very
and
good, sir. Thank you.
they come from
All right, and we'll watch the second video for this Shoot the Breeze topic number 3. Can African leaders grow a damn backbone? Stand by.
Well, thank you. And such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's very interesting.
At a high-profile White House summit with African leaders, President Donald Trump is once again at the center of controversy. This time, for a remark made to Liberian President Joseph Boakai. As Boakai delivered his speech in fluent English, Trump interrupted with what appeared to be praise. Such good English, such beautiful English. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? President Boakai smiled and replied simply, "In Liberia, sir." Trump then added, "That's very interesting. I have people at this table who can't speak nearly as well." Watch the entire viral moment here.
And also, we want to encourage American involvement in the investment in Liberia. We'd like to see that happen. We want to work with the United States in peace and security within the region because we are committed to that. And we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you. And such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's very interesting. That's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well,
Very
and
good, sir. Thank you.
they come from here. So thank you very much.
But here's the issue. English has been Liberia's official language for generations. Founded in the 19th century by freed African Americans, English is used in schools, government, and diplomacy. The remark has sparked backlash online, with many putting out memes and taking offense and calling Trump overtly racist. South African politician Veronica Ment questioned online why Boakai didn't stand up and leave. A Liberian diplomat also called the comment inappropriate and condescending. However, Liberia's Foreign Minister Sarah Basilo Nyanti downplayed the issue. She said Boakai had not taken offense and suggested Trump may have simply noticed the American influence in Liberia's English accent. "We know English has different forms," she said. Trump may have recognized a familiar sound. The comment came during a summit where Trump hosted leaders from Gabon, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Mauritania, and Senegal. He emphasized a shift in U.S. policy, from aid to trade. In another viral moment, at one point during the mini-summit, Trump gestured to Mauritanian President Mohamed Ould Ghazouani to speed up his remarks, saying, "We have to go, but I appreciate it very much. Maybe we're going to have to go a little bit quicker than this, because we have a whole schedule."
Et des ressources énormes halieutiques, c'est-à-dire dans le domaine de la mer. Je ne veux pas être long. Mais nous avons aussi.
We have to go.
Je vous remercie, monsieur le Président.
But I Appreciate it very much. I appreciate it. Maybe we're going to have to go a little bit quicker than this because we have a whole schedule.
Trump's Deputy Press Secretary Anna Kelly called the remark a heartfelt compliment. She blamed the media for twisting it negatively. Advisor Masad Boulos said African leaders appreciated the meeting and Trump's direct approach. But for many watching around the world, it was President Bokai's calm, composed reply that said it all. In Liberia, sir. The phrase has since gone viral. For more updates on global diplomacy, controversies, and what they really mean, subscribe to the Indian Express here on YouTube.
Hey. Woo! I know that the chat has a lot to say. Once again, the Shoot the Breeze topic number 3 is, can African leaders grow a damn backbone? Man, let's before we get to our panelists, let's start with Cheryl. Cheryl has laughing emoji. Cheryl, if you want to be on the panel, please feel free to go ahead and hit the link. We'd love to hear from you. Trigger Happy says, LOL, African leaders getting called up by the president of the U.S. It's like they are little kids who got in trouble and are getting called up by the headmaster of the school. Fools. Trigger Happy. Trigger Happy, man. You funny. Napo, we're just going to call you Napo, says that this country elected a dunce. Cheryl adds, Trump is smart. Afro Nation adds, Trump ain't no Salone, speaks English. True indeed. Yeah, we got. Let's start with a guy from an English-speaking country. Buana. First, what say you? Can African leaders grow a backbone? What say you?
I think that the prompt, the question is misplaced. I think the question should be, can American leaders grow a brain? I think that they should grow a brain. I see, and the thing is, he should. When they say grow a bone, what did they want him to do? Like throw his papers up in the air and storm off? Why would he do that? He is not when the president of a country is speaking to do business, he is not speaking for himself and his own personal emotions. He's speaking in representation of the millions of people who he represents, who might need the things who he's trying to have business arrangement with. So you have to use his brain and not just storm off. That's for an individual person to do. Didn't we just have a discussion when I was saying you have to think before you speak? You have to, even if you are offended by the president of the United States comments, as a person, a professional, a personal, you can't just storm off. He's representing many other people. So you have to think first. You have to use your brain. Now, a wise man would be like, okay, in reference to the president of the United States rushing the other African leader, right? Saying, oh, it's time for me to go. We got to go. Listen. Right now, the Americans are not the only person with the big marketplace in the room. Because graciously, just like how they're being disrespected in this room, they could go into the Russian room, they could go into the Chinese room, and they may get treated a whole lot better. In fact, the leaders of these countries may be much more affable. They ain't just trying to get a shot, take it and to insult. They'll be like, whatever you want to, Mr. President. We could do trade. We could have an arrangement collectively. Whatever you want to do, Mr. President. The conversation may go a whole lot different. So if this white American president is being dismissive, there's a whole lot of other rooms these African people could walk into. And you don't have to do it in a huff or a disrespectful way. It's like, thank you, Mr. President. I move on to the next room. But with the other offer, with people who may offer you something better for your people or have a better arrangement. I don't know. Why do we expect the African man to just storm off? Let me tell you something. Another thing, too. There was a gentleman named Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi Minh from Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh used to live in America. Ho Chi Minh, I think he was employed at one point as a very low position, sweeping up floors. I think it's for the military at the time. I can't remember exactly what was happening. And they had him like a little monkey too. Like, oh, this guy don't know nothing. Oh, he's old Chinaman. It's called anyone with slanted eyes Chinaman. They don't know who they talking to. This the biggest Achilles heel to American leadership sometimes, especially these cowboys or these particular types of individuals. They don't their field of information is so small. They're only in certain rooms because they don't know what's going on around them. They just have this particular view of the world. So they'll see a person like me or see a person like this African gentleman. He may speak 100 languages and went to the best schools where he's probably sent his children to. And since this cowboy, this American cowboy hasn't done his homework, he just see an old black man who dressed up in a suit, looks like a monkey, who don't know nothing about nothing. And he presumes, because see, all of his employees are butlers, maids, and servants. So he used to contacting and having conversations with these kinds of people on this level. They don't know anything. Or you're from a third world, you must not know anything. So Ho Chi Minh went back to Vietnam, and history, tells the story of what happened there. Yeah, that same person they was playing with, he was just acquiring enough information about the same people he had to eventually fight in a couple of years later. They don't know. They don't know.
Ho Chi Minh was also a Garveyite. He was in the UNIA.
No, sure I do, and I know that Ho Chi Minh took a lot of things from the Garveyite movement as well. I do know that as well. But I'm saying that if you don't know who you're dealing with, right? Instead of being insulting, why not have a conversation and engage them? You may find a whole lot of different things on the other side. But the supremacist assumes, this is his biggest Achilles heel. He assumes the person in front of him, because he is not a person like have the same skin complexion, he is the other. He is dumb, he's ignorant, he don't know as much as me. He comes from a shithole country. What does he know? I shouldn't listen to him. No problem. That same black man should go into another room with people who may treat him differently. And at the end of the day, he's going to get his country built anyways. So I just think that should African leaders grow a backbone? Brother, there's enough African leaders who've historically had a backbone in the past and who currently have a backbone right now. Right now, they're taking very big chances in their countries at this thing of a death. So this umbrella term of African leaders, you must be specific with these things, because African leaders do have a backbone. Many of them do. There are many of them who don't. But let's focus on the ones that do and encourage that. The glass is half full too, rather than just being half empty. But I just think that this is just showing typical American leadership ignorance. American leadership ignorance. Do you speak English? Don't you fool? Don't you know the Liberian? This one is not he's not an Americo-Liberian. He probably is a native Liberian, because his name is Bokai. But the Liberians were freedmen from the United States of America. So if they was to know English, they learn it from Uncle Sam. They get it from Uncle Sam. This fool he probably don't even know the history of Liberia. He don't even know Monrovia is the capital of Liberia. He said, well, how did you learn English? We learned it from Uncle Sam, you goofball. You can't explain these kinds of things to these men because they get very offended and very upset. So I would shake his hand and say, thank you, Mr. President. And I would go into a room who was much more friendlier to what I have to say. And any business decisions I would have to make, I would make it on the basis of, okay, we could deal with this person. This person is sporadic. This American person, he's an idiot. Let me go to the Canadian room. Let me go to the Mexican room. Let me go talk to the Brazilians and see what they have to say. America is not the only room African leaders have to walk into in terms of doing business anymore. That's all over with. That's done with. In fact, we working on even having our own rooms to walk into. Our own rooms to walk into. So let these guys continue to carry on. This guy has 4 years. Do your thing, brother. Do your thing. And whoever's coming after him, the world globally is changing. And if you don't want to keep pace with the world and have this own little propped up idea of we the best because we say so, you have fun with that. But That's all I have to say. Jacadero, I'll let the other brothers go.
I appreciate it, Buana. Yeah, true indeed. There's it's only a few years left, but and I've been asking about getting a woman on this panel, and finally we got a woman. Cheryl, welcome to the show. How are you? And what say you? Can African leaders grow a damn backbone?
Hi, everyone. Can I be heard?
Loud and clear.
Okay. So, to answer that question, I think African leaders can grow a backbone that, but it's hard to do that when your system the system that you were brought up in is British or it's French, and it's very obvious that he grew up in a British run system. And I think when you don't live around white people, you don't understand, like, it's hard to understand like how they communicate. So it either when you don't really understand white people, it either comes off as, oh, he's being condescending, or something. It always comes off as everything except what it is. And right here, what it is, yes, I would agree there was some condescending undertones, but it wasn't entirely condescending, because he followed it up with, oh, you sound better than XYZ sitting at the table. And I didn't see who was sitting at the table, but I'm gonna assume it's some non-black people sitting at the table as well. And the purpose of that, when a white person does that in front of other non-black people, is to boost the confidence of the black person that they know is confused. So the reason I say Trump is smart is because he knows that this African leader is fully and completely colonized in every sense of the word. So he knows how to get on his good side, right? So everybody else sees, oh, that was racist and that was da da da. And keep in mind, white people are white people, right? So the only reason people are reacting this way to Trump is because he's Trump, right? If he was anyone else, if he was like Biden or something, this wouldn't have gotten all that attention. But I say that to say that white people are white people, and I think sometimes we need to learn how to not be so reactionary. Trump's response to this man is what a lot of white people do when you have Negroes in high positions. So I think that was more important to note than, oh, he's a racist, da 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 da. We already know he's racist. Like, but the point is that he's on his good side. He didn't ruffle any colonial African feathers. So in that sense, the way he handled it was smart. But I mean, we all know in the chat, we all know what it's about. But it's more about him getting on his good side out in there.
Cheryl, I appreciate it. Thank you, by the way. Before we get into our other panelists for their opinions, Coach Pete says, good evening. Good evening, Coach Pete. What's going on? Provide for Triggers says, Bueno, with those with backbones are in the minority, though. Wardrum comes back. Welcome back, Wardrum. And he says, Trump said that he spoke with the president of Puerto Rico about hurricane relief in the first term. For our younger viewers and listeners, Puerto Rico is part of the United States. So if Trump indeed said he spoke with the president of Puerto Rico, it'd be like a Spider-Man meme. Provide for Triggers adds, they won't, I assume, go to the other rooms, though, as they love their American big daddy. All right. Black Steel, what say you? Can African leaders grow a backbone?
Man, I would have joined the BRICS as soon as I left this meeting. I would have walked out and joined the BRICS. The fuck? But you know what's so funny? First of all, we got to realize who we talking about, who we dealing with. Okay, Trump is not an intellectual man, right? This man is not a scholar. He probably couldn't point to Liberia on a map. He doesn't know the history that it was founded by freed slaves from America. He doesn't know that. He's not an intelligent man. So for him to say that, he remember that, I don't know if those of us who watched the episode of Boondocks, the first episode where Huey was going around saying that the government was lying about 9/11, Ronald Reagan was the devil, and Jesus was black. And the white people just look at him and say, "Young man, you speak so well. Well, you're such an eloquent young man." They were dismissing everything he said out of hand. That's what I thought of when I saw this video. How they're just ignoring everything you say, and they just see you as like a talking parrot in a way. If you see a parrot talking and like, wow, this parrot speaks so well. We taught this parrot how to talk. But again, Trump is not an intelligent man. This is the same man who drew a line to try to on a map to try to show where the hurricane was going to go differently. He's not an intelligent person. He doesn't have to be intelligent though. In fact, I believe the reason why he became president twice is because he's not intelligent. He speaks to a element of American society that does not value intellect, right? So I'm not surprised that they did this. Many of these the thing is, if you look at a map, right, many African nations are no longer trading with the United States at the level that they have before. Many of them are switching their trading agreements from the US and Western companies to China. This is a threat to, again, the United States' role as a global superpower. They don't want these African nations making deals with the Chinese or anybody. They don't want them belonging to the BRICS. So these countries that he mentioned, Liberia, Mauritania, so on and so forth, these nations are not. They're still trading with both the U.S. and China, but they're trying to negotiate a better deal within these two countries they're trading with. Who can get the best deal, make the most money, whatever. I'm not surprised at that. They probably sometimes you might have to eat shit for a little while to get a better deal. I hope they not understand that the United States does not deal in good faith, right? So whatever trade deal you work out with the U.S. is going to benefit them much more than it's going to benefit you. The contracts aren't fair. They're not going to invest in infrastructure. I don't know what else they think they're going to get because they're not going to get the benefits they think they're going to get from the United States. But many African nations are deciding to go move away from the U.S.'s orbit. So I think that these countries' leaders are probably some of the few people he could scrape up to come to the summit, because I believe many of them just completely decided not to go at all. Liberia historically has had close ties to the United States. That's something that throughout history. I mean, the capital is named after the president, James Monrovia Monroe. So this is something that there's a lot of close historical ties. Holdovers from the Cold War where the U.S. invaded. But I think that there wasn't a lot of them there. There's 54 countries in Africa. How many African leaders were at the summit? So I think that this is a sign that they're. I don't want to sign that they're scraping the bottom of the barrel, but most African leaders are no longer dealing with them because they know the U.S. is not dealing in good faith. You're going to have a few holdouts. You're going to have your Kenyas. You're going to have your Somali. But over time, especially as the Alliance of Sahel states starts to grow and gets more members, right, we're going to see a clash here. And I think that's kind of what we're going to see more in the future. But as far as these leaders growing a backbone, they're not going to have a backbone because they're put there to be spineless, right? There's a reason why African leaders can collect all this money and still have to go overseas for medical care because they're not investing in their country, and that's the way they want it. Because the minute they turn around and start investing, then you got problems. Then all of a sudden, the jihadists in your country are attacking your people. Where are they getting the weapons and the funding from? That's what the U.S. does. So they're probably just toeing the line because they know and they've seen what's happened when you don't toe the line. A lot of it's cowardice. A lot of it's they're happy and they're comfortable where they are. So I'll leave it there. Thanks.
Appreciate that, Black Steel. Some comments that we got in the chat. We have a few. Provide triggers. Says to Black Steel, that's right. Black Steel on the matter of joining BRICS. Black Steel looks like you got somebody that would also take a step away from the table and right away call Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin. Cheryl adds, I wouldn't expect a white person to respond any differently, honestly. Trump knows the system works, even in a black country where there are no white people. Fun fact about Liberia, for those that don't know, to attain Liberian citizenship, you have to have, I believe it's like 70% African ancestry shown and proven. So good job, Liberia. And also, Joseph Boakai was a democratically elected leader. He actually beat incumbent Mr. Weah, the former, is it Ballon d'Or, a recipient of football award winning. But all that to say, our last panelist, Anthony, what say you? Can African leaders grow a backbone?
Okay. All right, Jagadero. I'm gonna settle with you later. I'm gonna get you. But look at
Oh, wait, what you gonna get me about?
Nah, because I just had to think about it. You said you was ready for it, man. I was gonna be peaceful, but we gonna fight later. But look here, check it out. Hey, but check it out though. Okay. I mean, listening to all the other the previous commentators talk, the Black Steel, Buana, Sister Cheryl, you know, I appreciate all of their commentary, man. I think that Sister Cheryl hit it on the head. She hit it 100%. You know what I'm saying? Black Steel gave a great commentary. I'm gonna say this here. I'm like, okay, I wasn't disappointed in it. Well, I ain't never disappointed in what no honky say, what no cracker, what a white man said. He was just doing what white folks do. You know what I'm saying? What Donald, how he was talking. No, somebody would say, well, that was condescending, or that was, even the thing that Barner said about it. I'm not. Look here, that's what I expect from him, and not just from him. That's what I expect from any white man. Any white president, or president of the United States. That's just what they do. Hell, Ronald Reagan used to say the same shit, the same type shit when he was president. You know what I'm saying? Bill Clinton, he was saying some of the same shit. But what I'm saying is this right here. We have to understand one thing. Okay, now I do agree with Blunt when he was saying, we were saying African leaders, and that's like a broad brush. Okay, because, it's a difference between certain leaders and other leaders. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference between the brothers in the Sahel or the sister in Namibia. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference between them and some of these other leaders. But what we have to realize is this right here. Those leaders who were leaders who were there at that meeting, those were the KWAZ leaders. The KWAZ meaning these were the Uncle Toms. Okay? I did a little research on Joseph Boakai. He's a decent man, like outside of politics. And the president of one in Mauritania, he's a crypto racist. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those leaders like the other North African leaders who hate black people or want to keep black people in their place. I did my research on him. He's one of those white Moors of Mauritania. And the other leader, the one who I was great, I'm gonna say that. Hold up. What I'm saying, these were the Uncle Tom leaders. ECOWAS are the Uncle Toms. Okay, remember, ECOWAS were the ones who the Sahel brothers are going against, who broke away from. ECOWAS, all of them together, threatened to invade the Sahel. They threatened to invade Niger. They threatened to invade Mali. They threatened to invade Burkina Faso. Until those countries came together and said, okay, if you invade one of us, All us gonna be together. We gonna kick your ass. And what happened? ECOWAS backed down. Well, Nana Akufo-Addo in Ghana was in power then. In Ghana, he was the one who was leading things. But if you look at it, if you seen that whole thing, that whole thing for the weekend, I had a conversation through text with my good brother Neferkare T. De Saline, a Haitian brother who has a channel. And now we always had this thing about the president of Senegal, President Faye. The tall, good-looking brother, man. This Pan-Africanist and everything. You just like see him and just make you feel good just seeing him. You know what I'm saying, man? This is a great brother, President Faye, tall brother. Okay, I was saying, you know what? It's all up to myself. I say, man, it's too good to be true. He say a lot of things, but I like to watch what people do because people say a lot of stuff and they do other things. So over time, I started watching. ECOWAS was using President Faye to try to bring the Sahel brothers back to ECOWAS. And this shit came out. It eventually started coming out. Now, we thought he was a Pan-Africanist, and he was saying, F France, and France, get your military out of my country, and all this stuff. But all the time, it was smoke and mirrors. He was working with the people. You know what I'm saying? He's working with the people, hand in hand with them. I talk a little bit of this independent shit, but that really ain't what it is. See, y'all, I know I ain't really going off script, but I'm saying he was there, and y'all to hear the conversation that he had with Faye, where Trump had with Faye, and how to listen at Faye is all over IG, man. It's all over the black consciousness community. How Faye, you was listening at this brother who you thought was a Pan-Africanist, kissing Trump's ass, talking about working with Trump and everything. This man's supposed to be a Pan-Africanist. The man's talking about just kicking France out. You know what I'm saying? It was ridiculous, man. It was brothers and sisters from the continent chiming in on this, saying how disgusted they was. But like I'm saying, ECOWAS, these are the Uncle Toms. So we talking about African leaders. You talking about outside of ECOWAS, because no ECOWAS leader has a backbone. They don't have a backbone because it ain't their job to have a backbone. All of these leaders are cowards and Uncle Toms. They serving a purpose. ECOWAS. They are serving a purpose. That's an organization that was founded by the Europeans, by the white folks. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the AU. You know what I'm saying? They funded by the white folks. ECOWAS was founded by the white folks. We knew a couple of years ago when they said, well, we're going to come up with a new currency. No, the ECHO. We're going to come up with a new currency. Then we come to find out, guess what? They talking about getting rid of the safer, but guess what? The ECHO was bagged by who? France. The same motherfucker who got the safer. So I'm saying, at that meeting right there, that wasn't a meeting of African leaders, of strong, independent African leaders. That was a meeting of Uncle Toms going to the plantation to talk to Massa. You know what I'm saying? That's what that was. It was smoke and mirrors, man. So like, I know everybody ain't privy to them, don't know all of the information, or probably don't do enough studying. Cheryl obviously did it. I know Black Steel, he's about as intelligent as any of us. So I know he knew about it. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying, Bonner, those guys were not the real African leaders. Those guys are the plantation Negroes. They were the plantation Negroes. And it's just one brief thing I want to say before I knock off, man. I had to say, Bonner, you was talking about the Liberia thing. Okay, one thing it's this narrative that Liberia, Liberia was founded by free black formerly slave African Americans. No, it wasn't founded by us. It was founded by the American Colonization Society. Okay, in 1821, 22. But then in 1847, you had some brothers who said, like this Joseph Jenkins Roberts, who was a mixed race guy. Okay, they said, well, hell, we could do better on our own. So then they founded the Republic of Liberia in 1847. Okay, now it wasn't just Americo-Liberians. Okay, it was also African brothers who had been formerly who were captured Africans from the Congo. About 5,000 of them who were captured on the high seas on ships from the Congo. They were rescued at sea, and they were brought to Sierra Leone, and eventually they took them to Liberia. And these people intermingled with the African Americans, the Black Americans who had came over here, about 12 to 15,000 who had came over here. but also importantly, 3,000 Afro-Caribbeans came to Liberia. Mostly all of them came from Barbados. And there were two presidents, Barbadian presidents of Liberia, Arthur Barclay and Edwin Barclay. They were two Caribbean brothers, and one of them was actually born in Barbados. So I'm saying it was a mixture of people. It was African Americans, it was Afro-Caribbeans, and it was continental Africans from the Congo and from Central Africa that made up this class that was known as the Americo-Liberians. It wasn't just Black Americans. It was a group of them, and they gelled together and they created this, elite thing. And, you know the rest of the history. So I just wanted to kind of get that out the way. When you're talking about the history of Liberia. But yeah, man, you got to realize KWAZ is the Uncle Tom Negroes. These are not the revolutionaries. These are Uncle Toms. You know what I'm saying? These people are the ones who were trying to overthrow Traore now. And I don't want to go on too long, man. I'll leave it right there.
Anthony, I think that, can you all hear me? I hope so.
Loud and clear, Bwana.
Okay,
Loud and clear.
So I see the thing is, right, with this whole idea of Pan-Africanists, right? I don't want to be above the heads of our audience because it's a little bit of sophistication involved. Because Anthony, you know that there are different kinds of Pan-Africanists. There are Pan-Africanists who are continentalists. They believe in Pan-Africanism specifically for the continental Africans. Then you have the Western Hemisphere Pan-Africans who really want to look at Pan-Africanism from that side of the world. Then you have the globalists, the global Pan-Africans who have a different narrative. And you also, and this is important, you also have white people who live in Africa, who is born in Africa, believe in Pan-Africanism, but another version of that Pan-Africanism. A lot of white Americans have that same kind of mentality too. Their Pan-Africanism is sick and twisted. It's perverted. You know what I mean? So that Pan-Africanist narrative, you got to be very careful with that. So when the leader of Senegal, who you thought was a Pan-African, I thought he was a Pan-Africanist too. And in his mind, he may still be a Pan-Africanist, but you have to listen to what his ideas of Pan-Africanism are. Because they may be very different from what your perspective on Pan-Africanism is. Another thing too is, this whole idea of leadership, what has get me going sometimes is, I am from a country where my prime minister is a dancer too, Anthony. He probably would have been in that room with his shoe polish, cleaning Trump's boots, and I'm listening to this. Oh goodness, man! And I'm sitting in the room, and I'm knowing that because you all speak to me and Koku, you all would know right off of the bat that this particular gentleman don't represent me. So it's very difficult when he's speaking on behalf of hundreds of thousands of Bahamians. Say, well, the Bahamians think like that. Just listen to Philip Brave Davis. That N-word don't speak for me. just as a person in Kenya, Ruto doesn't speak for Jacadero or people who like Jacadero adjacent people. So these people who consider themselves leaders, what does get me going sometimes is these N-words don't represent me, brother. They don't represent me. But that's just my thing.
Bwana, just real quick before the rest of the panelists chime in on Anthony's take. Ruto does speak for me, by the way, and Ruto
my bad. So no problem. So Ruto.
Yeah. So
that's why I'm gonna get him
later. So thank you, Anthony and Bwana. Yes, Ruto does speak for me. My president is William Ruto. Black Steel, what say you? Do we? Anthony says that we have. He said Uncle Toms. Do we have Uncle Toms representing West African nations?
Of course. That shouldn't even be said. I mean, think about it like this, right? A lot of these countries, you don't get to be the leader of these countries if you're not Uncle Tom. Think about it like this. How many African presidents has France assassinated? It's got to be at least 20-something, right? So you don't get to be in these positions without towing a certain line. Because if you don't, they'll get rid of you. And they've demonstrated they have the power to do so. So yeah, I definitely believe that. I think the power comes in our unity, right? As long as if you can't get another um, African to do your dirty work, that means you got to do it yourself. They can usually find another African to do their dirty work, someone who they'll trust and get close to them. That's what happens. So yeah, absolutely they do.
Cheryl, what say you? Do you also agree with? Cheryl? Do you also agree with? Go ahead, Anthony.
No, I wait to Cheryl go.
Cheryl, do you agree with Anthony? Do we have West African leaders as Uncle Toms representing their countries in the United States when they meet with Trump?
Yeah, so I do think that they are Uncle Toms in the fullest sense of the word, but also remember these people didn't just say, "Hey, well, they did and they didn't in a sense. They didn't just say, "Hey, well, I want to be in a high position of power, so I'm just going to do everything that this white person says to get that." These people were groomed from birth. Like it's bigger than being an Uncle Tom. It's ingrained in them. Like in the religion, if you follow in a white person's religion, they don't even when you try to even talk to a person like that, they don't even see a problem because it's it's just in them. Like that's the white system that has the control over them. It's like when you grow up with something like that and you don't see white people on a daily basis, and then you see these white people giving you the floor in the world stage. They're just like, oh, that's like God and Jesus coming down out of the sky, parting the sky, and coming down to give them some authority. Like it's deeper than even being an Uncle Tom. Like they're not just doing it just to get like they are doing it to get power, but it's not just that. It's like it's just in them from birth because that's how deep the system is. So any of these African countries talking about how they got independence and all of this, no, they don't. Not real independence. None of them do. So I mean, it really is deeper. It's so deep, and I'll end it there.
Okay.
Deep.
Hey, okay.
Go ahead, Anthony.
Okay, Jagadero, I want to say something. I want to tell you something real quick. This is something that I remember. You remember this brother? He dead now. He in the ancestors now. He was from. I think Jagadero. He may have been from Kenya. I know. I had a book. He had a book called The Africans. Dr. Ali Muzwai.
Yes,
I don't.
Ali
Jagadero.
Mazrui.
Yeah, I don't recognize this, but I think
Ali Mazrui. I never could pronounce that name right. I didn't know whether he was from Kenya or Tanzania. Okay, Ali Mazrui. Okay, I remember he had this book called The Africans. I remember, I'm old enough to remember, he used to have a TV show that used to come on Bravo called The Africans. It was a history channel. It was a beautiful show, man, brilliant. But anyway, what I'm saying, he was talking about in France, in French colonial Africa. Okay, on the eve of independence. Okay, in French colonial Africa, like say around the 40s into the 50s, before the independence movement got real strong. No, before it was a real push. Okay, the French came up with a clever device. No, they was already thinking, okay, we're gonna give them flag independence. We're gonna say, okay, you're an independent country now. You got your own flag and all that. But they stood up after that. They like the French community. Y'all gonna be part of the French community of nations with them. But anyway, they had another program that was called, I can't remember the name of it. I don't know, Shell or Black Steel. Y'all can remember the name of that program. But the program was to program the minds of Black Africans into being Black Frenchmen. They want to make them Black Frenchmen. They would take Black men and educate them in French, give them a French education, learn the French language, and even give them French wives. Okay, one of our most esteemed political theorists and thinkers, who somebody who means a lot to me, is in a lot of ways. Dr. Sheikh Andy Joe, he was one of them. They did it to him. They did it to him. You know, he ain't married a French woman. You know what I'm saying? Even though he had a brilliant mind, and though he kind of strayed off, he went off script. You know what I'm saying? But he even talked about it. It was this whole thing of creating black Frenchmen. You know, so they could keep a grip on the former French colonies. They did it all over their former colonies. Okay, now check this out. In Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, one of their main ones they had was this president whose name was Houphouët-Boigny. Houphouët-Boigny. He was president. He was the founding president of Cote d'Ivoire. And he was president from 1960, I think, into the 80s and probably close to 1990, early 90s or something like that. Now, this is fake. This is not me making up no shit. Because I'm talking about the Uncle Tom shit. Houphouët-Boigny, you know, he was pro-West. He was 100% pro-France. You know what I'm saying? In his country, his people hated the shit out of him. He the one that built that big old church at Yamoussoukro, the big Catholic church, in a country where only about 5-6% of the people Catholic. Okay. This is what he did. This man worked hand in hand with the French government. Okay. While Thomas Sankara in Burkina Faso, as president of Burkina Faso from 83, 87. The plot to assassinate Thomas Sankara, though it was hatched in Paris, it came to fruition in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire. Houphouët-Boigny was complicit in the plot, okay, to have him assassinated, to have Sankara assassinated. Okay. Boigny hosted Charles Taylor, the Liberian leader, the Liberian rebel leader at this time, who was trying to overthrow the government in Liberia, Samuel K. Doe. He and Prince Johnson. No, he and Prince Johnson were friends at that time. They were comrades. Okay, they were in Cote d'Ivoire. Okay, also they got their training in guess where? Their military training and their hardware, their equipment was in guess where? And I know a lot of people ain't gonna like this, but it's true. They got their training and equipment in Libya from Gaddafi. That's who gave the training. You can read it. It's open news. They were trained in Libya. Libya, the government of Libya at the time, you know, they was under all this pressure, you know, from the West. Remember after the bombing over Lockerbie, Scotland, and everything, and for them to try to the sanctions that was against them was hurting their oil industry. They made an agreement with the West to give up their nuclear weapons. You know, that was a mistake for them to give up their nuclear weapons. And part of the deal where they was working with France was about for the overthrow of Thomas Sankara. So Charles Taylor them got their training there. Charles Taylor them left out of Libya to go in to Burkina Faso. Charles Taylor and Prince Johnson were the ones who assassinated Thomas Sankara. It's on My Black Planet on YouTube. It's a Truth and Reconciliation Committee where Prince Johnson stands up and testifies and admits it. You know, he just died. It's on there. You can see it on YouTube where he admitted to killing Sankara. He admitted to it, that he did it. He personally did it. And the whole plot thing was set up by Houphouët-Boigny, of the president of the Ivory Coast. You know, I mean, it was hashed in Paris, but it was carried out in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire. This is what I'm talking about, these Uncle Tom leaders. You know what I'm saying? In Africa. These Uncle Tom leaders like Houphouët-Boigny and like all the rest of these guys in West Africa right now. These Uncle Toms. This is how,
Anthony. So
yeah, go ahead.
Blaise Compaoré. I always thought that Blaise Compaoré was responsible.
No, Blaise Compaoré was not the one who did it, boy. Yeah, he was in it. He was with it. But I mean, it was, look here, Prince Johnson admitted it at a Truth and Reconciliation Committee. It's on YouTube. You can see it on My Black Planet.
I'll look at it.
No, I looked at it 3 times, man, and he admitted, yes, I killed Thomas Sankara. He admitted it, that they killed him. Because so I'm saying, that's what, Prince Charles Taylor got his training. Look here, and what happened also besides that, I'm going to show you how it connect. Okay, remember, Charles Taylor, when he became president of Liberia, at the same time, okay, who funded the Civil War in Liberia? Who funded the Civil War in Sierra Leone? Which hundreds of thousands of Africans lost their lives in Liberia and Sierra Leone. Charles Taylor was a pariah to the West, so he got his money from, guess who? Gaddafi. Gaddafi funded all of his activities. He funded a man in Sierra Leone named Chief Fode, who was the rebel leader who was over there hacking off and cutting off people's hands over there. He was a Muslim dude, you know what I'm saying, which he had ties with Gaddafi, because Gaddafi wanted to spread Islam over there as well as take control of the gold mine, of the diamonds and stuff. I'm saying he funded both of those wars, the Liberian Civil Wars and the Sierra Leone Civil War was funded by Gaddafi. That's a fact. It's a known fact. You know what I'm saying? This is how this shit goes, man, around in a circle. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm saying, in the Ivory Coast, the Côte d'Ivoire, which is the center of French Uncle Tomism in West Africa, was the main place where they did business at, is where it all got funded from. Man, I don't want to go on too long, man, because I've been talking long enough, but I just wanted to get that out the way.
Ooh, got a lot here. Some of the comments reading, America released Taylor from prison. War Drum says, KWE says, so the other presidents must not be educated because their English isn't so great. Trigger Happy says, sometimes it gets difficult calling what happens to us neo-colonialism in some contexts because the French influence seems very direct still. I want to answer. Provide Triggers ask, why does he speak for you, Jacadero? Please explain, since you are hosting this panel. It was a question, response to Buana, stating that Ruta doesn't speak for me, but he does. And why he does, because he's the president. Whoever the president is, no matter what my feelings are about the president at the time, they are the president. So until that changes, he does speak for me. Trigger Happy adds, to me, there should be another form of Pan-Africanism, Rashidi Pan-Africanism specifically, which includes Melanesians and ABOS. Maybe, I don't know what ABOS is, but Cheryl adds, Christian blacks in America will say dem crackers and still go to church in the morning. Christians in Africa fully and wholly worship the ground white people lay on. It's a lot. Afro World adds that ABOS is Aboriginals from Australia. I did not know that there was an acronym for that. Well, moving on. We got Shoot the Breeze topic number 4, and it's how Black people labor. Can music and rhythm be incorporated in Africa's industrialization process, or is this too impractical and childish to some perspectives? And we got videos to go with the prompt for number 4. So let's go ahead and watch both videos. Watch the first one here. Comes to us from YouTube, and it looks like it's Fisherman singing. Let's take a look. You're late. What do you mean? And then we'll go to the second video for the prompt number 4. Stand by. All right, and shoot the breeze. Topic number 4: how Black people labor. Can music and rhythm be incorporated in Africa's industrialization process, or is this too impractical and childish to some perspectives? Before we go to our first panelist's thoughts and comments, Bwana, that first video of them men pulling a boat in is what it seemed like. They were pulling a boat in and singing and getting motivation. Bwana, when I arrive in the Bahamas, I expect the same type of reception. Black Steel, what say you? Shoot the breeze. Topic number 4.
I'm always amazed by some of these topics because I wouldn't even consider this to be a topic. But it's very interesting though, so I appreciate the different perspective. Let's see. So the question is whether or not music and rhythm can be incorporated in Africa's industrialization. I mean, they already incorporated it into America and the West industrialization because that's what the slaves would do. America, the rest of the world would not have been able to industrialize without the goods produced by slave labor. So, if it was already incorporated in the West, United States, Great Britain, industrialization, I don't understand why it wouldn't be able to be done in Africa's. Africa's is industrialized to a certain extent, but so in a capitalist system, the highest stage of capitalism is imperialism, as Lenin once wrote, and then the highest stage of imperialism is neocolonialism. Much of Africa is under the control of neocolonial systems. So Africa is industrialized, true, but the goods that are produced in Africa are mainly sent to I don't want to use the term developed world, the unexploited world. How about that? So the goods and the services and the things. So Africa's role in capitalist system is to produce raw materials, right? So before they produced raw materials through slave labor, now they produce raw materials via neocolonialism. And those raw materials are then processed through the industrialization factories. Now, Africa probably doesn't have as many factories, so they don't develop the goods there. So Africa's side of capital is just merely to be the source of raw materials, where you get the gold, the coltan, the oil, and everything else. Previously, what they did before in Africa's gold and early industrial process was to produce cheap labor, slavery, right? The slaves then produced the goods, the cotton, the tobacco, the rum in the Americas and the West, sending back to England for sale, so on and so forth. That was the beginning of the triangular trade. Now, Africa still holds the same position within the capitalist system. Africa is a source of raw materials, which are then bought as cheaply as possible and then exported to the rest of the world to be manufactured. And then some of those goods are then returned back to Africa. Now they've been processed. I got off the track of the original topic. I only think that myself is that I feel like as far as the can music be, of course it would be. I think that whenever we work, if you see black people working and outside, or it used to be black, well, it still is actually, you see prisoners on the chain gang, or black working in fields or working together. It helps build social cohesion and a sense of belonging. So in that aspect, I don't see any reason why it would not be, right? I think that we have to stop, they said, in the prompt, it mentioned the term being impractical and childish. We have to, I don't think so. I think that we have to take pride in our culture, in our cultural expressions, right? Being how we relate to each other, or just how we relate to otherwise. Yeah, the third one had, okay, prisoners doing work songs. Okay, yeah, that's pretty common. When they would be in the field or work, even now, if you have people who are, back then they work on the railroad. My grandfather used to work for the railroad. They would sing while they were hammering in, the railroad spikes. So that's a pretty common thing that comes from Africa. That's one of the many cultural expressions that were brought over from Africa. But otherwise, I don't see why it wouldn't be should be an issue. It should be something we should celebrate. I would like to see how that would go in a factory, right? But I have my own thoughts about industrialization of Africa. I think if it's done to a greater extent, it needs to be done sustainably within the environment. You don't want Africa to look like China, right? We don't want African wildlife to go the way of the Chinese wildlife. There's a reason why the South China tiger is extinct in the wild. The Baji is extinct, and all these other animals, pandas, endangered species list, because the Chinese industrialized with no regard to their environment. So when Africa industrializes, it needs to be done in a sustainable manner. But that's a topic for another time. All right, thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, Black Steel. Buana, what say you?
What can I say? What can I say? I echo the thoughts of Black Steel, because when I saw that video, I was reminded of the chain gangs and what I used to watch on TV, of course, when the people were singing and doing their work, and even the railroad. America industrialized off of the labor of black people, and I have you have them kind of images of black men singing, and Black Steel could confirm. He said his grandfather worked on a railroad. So during that industrialization process, you had black laborers performing certain kinds of work, and when they were doing that kind of labor, they was doing the singing. And the brothers say these things were brought from the African continent. And for my FBA and ADOS brethren, if they was to see a clip like, because they say we have no connection, if they was to see a clip like this, it's indisputable, where you could see the collective work and how they carried on the work itself through music and rhythm and all that stuff like that. They carried that stuff with that mentality with them across the seas, and instituted the same different kinds of work, but with the same kind of music and rhythmic process. So these are the things that we took with us across the sea, But these people would say, well, no, we got all our stuff from the Native Americans and the Indians. Needless to say, I what's funny though, I don't know who commented who said that they expect to see us doing the same thing when they come to the Bahamas. So I'm curious, do you think like Bahamians like to like stand to the shores, like carrying like have like chains, like the cruise ship chains, pulling the cruise ships in while they singing, or like when the plane lands? Do you think that we're gonna be pulling the plane to off the runway singing and just? I don't understand how that works, but I think that there is a definite connection there. I think that how we actually do the labor, I think that it's astonishing, man. It's astonishing to see our connectedness and what we took with us across the sea, and we have kept to build up other people, industries, and societies. And if it could be done here in the United States or in the West, it certainly could be done in Africa. How we do it and how we implement it is another kind of feature, but I think certainly it could be done in a practical way. But that's my comment on it.
Appreciate it, Buana. We got a third video that was sent in. Again, this is sent in from the Discord. If you aren't already on the Discord, please join us. Bitter Medicine Podcast, the name of the Discord. 99 members. You could be the 100th. Needless to say, let's take a look at the third video sent in from Trigger Happy. Thank you, Trigger Happy. Ooh, man, that was beautiful to see. Cheryl says that's dope. That's, man. Trigger Happy says best performance. Trigger Happy, the brother in the blue hat that was, doing tricks with the hoe. That reminded me that there's always that one brother that would always try to do the most and show off. That's probably you, huh? Man, Anthony, what say you? Can we use music?
Yeah, okay. I got you, Jackadero. Okay, Jackadero, give me just 1 second. First, I gotta holler at Buana for a minute. Buana, look here, Buana. You my brother, man. I love you. I have a lot of respect for you, man. Okay, number one, when I come to the Bahamas, I want you to greet me at Nassau with some gin and coconut water. That's number one. You know what I'm saying? I want you to greet me with some gin and coconut water, and I want you to be singing. Deo. Okay. But this is what I'm saying, Buana. This is what I'm saying. Just like I remember our old shows, Buana, where we called you Mr. Untouchable, right? I can't hear Buana.
Buana's getting that drink. Buana's getting that drink ready for you right now, so don't you worry.
Oh yeah. Hey, look here. I got a whole half a gallon of tequila right now.
My bad. I was smoking my pipe. Go ahead. I'm here. I was smoking my pipe. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, Buana, when our show first started, I mean, when I first joined the show, like back in 2017, okay, we called you Mr. Untouchable. Yes, that was it, Buana, Mr. Untouchable.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tanzan came along, you know, and it changed our vocabulary. So we still call you Bwana Hagaziki. And that's
Yes, sir.
I call you Bwana Hagaziki. That's what you is. That's what you like being called.
Yes,
That's your
sir.
name. I called you.
Yes,
So
sir.
what I'm saying is this, Bwana. I need you to just give us, my tribe of Africans, my branch of the tree, that little bit of a tiny little bit of respect, and stop calling us FBA and ADOS shit.
I was
Call us
okay.
Africans in America.
But
Call us
Anthony,
Africans in America. No, but just listen to
I
me.
wasn't talking about the African
I
American.
get you, Bwana. Bwana, get you. I got you. But I'm just saying, call us. I mean, we brothers on this panel, man. We had that conversation. We Africans in America. You Africans in the Bahamas.
Yes, sir.
Jackie Jarrell was Africans in Kenya.
Yes, sir.
We all Africans.
Yes,
See, this is what if we truly about what Marcus Garvey was about.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we Africans. We ain't nothing. We don't call each other by these slave plantation names.
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, I'm not an FBA, and I know you ain't. When you say it, you're not talking about me. You talk about others. But you know what? When I hear that, it's just something, and it's not you. It's not. I don't have it against you, but it cringed me because see, I despise that shit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I despise it. So I'm saying I would appreciate if my brother called me and my people by my name as an African, just
Yes,
like you are African.
Yes, sir.
You are
American
African.
African. I apologize.
Yeah, listen. No, not even the American part. I don't co-sign with the American part because America means genocide, slavery, imperialism. I don't go with that neither. Just the African in America.
Yes,
And like you, I would never. When you tell me your name is Bwana Hagaziki, I would never call you nothing but Bwana Hagaziki.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now, and I didn't mean Bwana. It ain't nothing against you, man. I'm just trying to, a brother. Even when I'm wrong, you correct me. I can't do nothing but accept it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? When I'm wrong, Black Steel. If I say something, Black Steel, correct me. Jagadero, correct me. I can't do nothing but say thank you, brother, for that.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Yeah, no sweat. No sweat. No sweat.
Okay, but all right, and now back to the prompt real quick. I'm gonna be brief. To the prompt, okay. Number one, that was a beautiful display right there. Where you seeing those brothers doing. Now, see, I personally seen it myself in real life. I've seen it. No, as long ago as it been, but I mean, when it first came around on the plantations or across this country, the southern United States, where you see that at. Okay, on the railroad track, see, my stepdaddy worked on the railroad in the 60s. And my grandfather had did a little time on the railroad. Okay, on the railroad, they called it, they were Gandhi dancers. That's what the term was. They called it Gandhi dancers, where you see them working and, and moving the tracks and singing. Now, in the fields, they called them field hollers. Now, I had a whole thing where I used to, you had a lot of videos, and I knew older brothers that did time in Angola. I'm in Louisiana. We at the penitentiary Angola. I know old brothers who used to work in the fields and used to sing some of those field hollers. That sound just like that stuff that you were just seeing them African brothers do. So yeah, it's definitely us, man. It's us. It's us. No matter how many of these Negroes you see them talking about indigenous this and aboriginal this and all that bullshit. It's just foolishness. There's just some Negroes who don't know nothing, who ain't never studied nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's us. It's an African thing. Okay, I done got that out of the way. Now to the prompt, I'm gonna say this real quick. Think about this here. The prompt, Jagadero. When you think of Jamaica, let's don't think about this beautiful, green, lush, beautiful island. These beautiful black people. Say this beautiful culture and everything. Let's don't think about that part, the tourism and everything. But when you think about Jamaica, we talk about music being part of the industrialization. What's the first thing you think of Jamaica? You think of what? Reggae music.
I usually think of dance hall, but yeah, reggae dance hall.
Hey, well, you know what I'm saying? Reggae, really the same. Well, they different, but I'm just saying you think of reggae music.
100%.
You think of Bob Marley. You think of Bob Marley. You think of Peter Tosh. You know what I'm saying? You think of Tootsie and the Maytals. You think of reggae music. Let's put it this way. You think of the music.
Yes.
Whether it's ska or rock steady, you think of the music.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? 100%. You think, well, besides green shit. You know what I'm saying? But you think of music. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just from what I said in Jamaica, personally, like the artists, I don't know how it is now, but for a long time, all of that great music that we was hearing, no, that's what they because how the music industry was set up there. And it was colonized. You had Chris, this old white boy, Chris Blackwell, them, and and other Uncle Toms, running shit. But I'm saying, but the first thing we think of when we think of Jamaica, we think of the music. We think of reggae. We see a picture of Bob Marley. You know what I'm saying? Or we see, like recent, like you said, we see a picture of Barrington Levy, and Beanie Man, them, and the dance hall thing. So I'm saying, I think yes, it can be a part of it, like Black Steel said. Yes, it could be. It's already a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Look how look at how music has been used and turned into a multi-billion-dollar corporation in America and probably all over the world, man. All kind of corporations, the Sonys and everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, it's. I think the question is more like, will it serve the people, or will it serve the artists, or something like that? You know what I'm saying? No, I already went on long enough, man. I'm not off to listen to the other brothers, man.
I appreciate it. We don't have any more brothers left on the panel before we go into our last panelist. Anthony, when I think of Jamaica, I do think of music. And one of the awesome songs that I hear when I think of music from Jamaica is this. Ooh, guys, I miss say. Cheryl, what say you? Can we use music and dance for labor?
I'm sorry, I know Cheryl's still on the show. I'm sorry, Cheryl.
No, it's okay. So yeah, like I like one of the things that I noticed, like when you have a group of people trying to, get a task accomplished, it could be like building a house. It could be like somebody in the comments said farming, um, anything that requires like a lot of people to do it, and you want that thing to get done, and you want it to get done precisely. I think the rhythm and the precision go hand in hand, because if somebody's off rhythm and they're trying to lay the foundation, or, like what they were doing, then it's not going to look right. So I think the rhythm is important when it comes to precision. And that's why rhythm is so important to us as Black people. Some people, like, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's cool. That looks cool," or something like that, but the rhythm is based on a frequency, and it's a frequency that this doesn't matter where you go. It could be like Jamaica, it could be in the Americas, wherever. We all have that same sense of like rhythm, that precision. So I think that that's important, and I think it also shows in the structures that we build, because of the music, and we're working in unison. The thing that we're building, it comes out looking the best that it can be. And that's because somebody mentioned this also in the comments about the morale. So when you're all working in unison together, there is it builds morale. So it makes you want to keep going. And because of that, the structure that you're building, it shows in the structure that you're building. So it's that's important.
Appreciate it, Cheryl. Black Steel, Guana, Anthony, any rebuttals on anything, whether it was Cheryl's comments or Black Steel, Guana, or Anthony's comments? Well, while we think about that, we got some comments in the chat. Guana says, Afro Native, I'm a Buju and Barris fan, Barris Hammond. Oh, man. Yeah, absolutely, man. Man, you're bringing it back. Trigger Happy says, no matter what, this is just more fun. And if I had to do my work like that, like this at a factory job, I would look forward to going to work every day. Europeans cannot think like this. True indeed. Uh,
Nor do they have the rhythm.
Now, Lero. Now. I'm sorry. Now, Cheryl. Now, white people had rhythm when the cocaine was pure. Now, when the cocaine was pure, the
I
white
mean,
people were dancing to
No,
rhythm.
they never had no rhythm. They never had no rhythm.
listen, they got rhythm in the sense that their rhythm, you know how they say they dance to the words, not the music. So if you're picking up what I'm putting down.
I know. I am.
Hey, they got rhythm and kicking our black ass.
Somehow they do.
Are we going on to the next topic?
all right, I just wanted to make sure that we got
Wait a minute.
everybody.
White people got rhythm. Y'all never hear Michael McDonald? I keep forgetting. I'm not in love. Y'all don't like that song? I like that song.
Hey,
Hey, listen.
brother, you know what, brother? Hey, brother, we were talking about that the other day. Hey, we were talking about that the other day, and I was just like, I said, man, you know what? If you just listen to, all them songs, like, I remember, like, this group, I remember I was growing up, they had a group called the Average White Band, and they had a song called A Love of Your Own, and man, I used to love that song growing up. I was young, I didn't know no better. You know what I'm saying? Or Bobby Caldwell, What You Won't Do for Love, and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And like when I heard it, I mean, they had rhythm. But look here, but I thought they was one of us. You know what I'm saying? Because they
The
imitate us
exception.
so much. Yeah, they imitate us. Yeah, but then when you think about it, when you grow up, and you say, well, you know what, man, and you hear the real thing. It's one thing to hear Stevie Ray Vaughan or hear Eric Clapton sing the blues, but when you hear Bobby Bland sing the blues, you say they can't sing, man. You know what I'm
I,
saying? When you hear,
I
hey, when
I
you
don't
hear,
pay attention
yeah,
to
when you hear
exception.
UB40, yeah, hey, when you hear UB40 sing reggae, and then you turn around and hear Steel Pulse or hear Black Uhuru, you know what I'm saying, or hear Toots and the Maytals
Whole
or
different
somebody,
level. Whole different level.
you say they can't sing.
Yeah, it's true because
You know what I'm saying?
I used to like this rock and roll group called The Police. Roxanne. When I thought about it, I'm like, all they singing is reggae music. They really get a lot of their style off of pure reggae, like licks and stuff like that. So I understand when Anthony said when you hear the real thing, it just overwhelms you in comparison to something that's not original. So I understand where Anthony's coming from. So sorry for interrupting you, Cheryl. Go ahead, sister.
No, y'all good. And those would be the exceptions, not the rule. So if you go back to Europe and they not doing that over in their home country. They only doing that because they they just so happen to be around us. That's the only thing. If you go back to Africa, you see exactly what you see when you in Jamaica. You see exactly the same type of rhythm you see in amongst Black Americans. When you go to Europe, you ain't gonna see that. I promise you. You is not gonna see.
Let me ask you all something because y'all well the Africans in America. Is that okay, Anthony? Africans in America? Is that all right? No.
It should be hard to say.
No, I
All
just
right, go ahead, Juana.
all
I'm
right.
all about
So
something. Go ahead. I
yeah,
get what you're
so
trying to say.
when y'all hear like someone like Amy Winehouse, because she sing the blues. I mean not the blues. She sing like that down home kind of like. So when y'all hear, what do y'all think about her? Amy Wine. If
Amy
you
Winehouse.
yeah, do y'all know who even Amy Winehouse is? Because she
Yeah,
sing
Yes,
like
you
she
know
sing
what?
like
yes.
black woman. She sing like a
Amy
black
Winehouse.
woman to me.
She sounds like
Yeah.
a white girl.
No,
Okay.
To
I
me,
mean,
she sounds like a white girl.
if you didn't see Amy
Hey,
Winehouse, I
What
thought
the
she was black
hell?
until I
Amy
saw her
Winehouse.
picture. I swear I did.
hey, Black
Yes,
Steel. Now you from Florida. Now
yes,
back in the days in Florida, back when you was a small boy, or probably your dad, your parents, and they remember you remember Deep City Soul.
yes.
You remember Deep? All right. Now you remember Deep City Soul. Now you listen to that, and that sold me like Helene Smith and them, and Betty Wright. You know what I'm saying? Remember she had that song Paralyzed. Now, you know, when you hear Amy Winehouse or this old, what is this old, the other one, the bitch who died a long time ago, Janet Joplin, you hear them singing what's supposed to be what passed for good blues music. You know, a deep rhythm and blues. Then when you go back, Black Seal, tell them about deep soul. That deep soul sound out of Miami and out of Southern Florida.
Well, you know what? It's like when you go to Walmart, right? You got the Walmart version and you got the name brand, right? You got the great value, as they call it, right? So when you go to, you have the great value version versus the original version. All of these white artists copy our stuff, right? We inspire them, and they try their best to do a good imitation. So it's not the same. I've enjoyed some of Amy's music. Hell, she only had one album. Her and you mentioned Janis Joplin, right? They belong to the 27 Club. Basically, they all died by the age of 27. I think Jimi Hendrix also is another one of those people. But yeah, I mean, it's just a good imitation, and I appreciate it for the merits, but it's nothing like the real thing. It's just enjoyable for whatever it is. Some people can't even stand it. Like I can't stand no white person singing no reggae. That's a slap in the face. You know, how dare you? Like I got a problem with white rosters. You know, a lot of these white dudes run around with dreadlocks and want to wear the red, gold.
Yeah, with the ugly ass dreadlocks.
Yo, hey, y'all know another person. Ooh, I hear an echo. Okay. So another person that black people swear by is T. I don't know, but I mean, I can see why black people think he sounds black, but to me, it just sounds forced. But I don't know.
Who?
Tina Marie.
Yeah.
Ah, Tina Marie don't
Oh,
sound.
sure. Wow. Hey
But
man, hey, let me get
I like her. I can't say
hey,
I
let
don't
me
like
get
her. I
hey,
enjoy it.
hey, look here. I'm not gonna hey, look here, growing up, like I said, the first time I heard her, I thought it was a sister at first. When she came out with that song Square Biz and all that, and then I seen I thought this is a white girl, man. You know what I'm saying? And like, but you know, like, okay, you know, at one time, you know, before we had some consciousness when we was in our other stage, you know, okay, yeah, the music sounded good. But then the more I learned about it, I say, you know, it made me think when I hear these white artists singing our music or trying to sound like us, it always made me think about the artists of the past, like our Big Mama Thornton. You know what I'm saying? And the music that she made, and Elvis Presley came and co-opted her shit and made millions of dollars off of it. You know why she didn't see the success. You know what I'm saying? Even though we loved her, we on the black people on the grassroots, we loved her. Or like other artists, you know what I'm saying? Other black artists. It was this artist, I can't remember the brother's name. He was from South Africa. He was a Zulu brother from the Zulu ethnic group. And they made a song in the 50s called A Lion Sleeps Tonight. And some white boys over here called the Tokens made that song and made it a classic rock and roll song. You know that song, The Lion Sleeps Tonight, a wing away, a wing away. That was a song by a South African brother. And he never did get credit. Well, he got credit later on, about 50 years after he died, you know what I'm saying, after he was gone. But he never got credit for that. And that was one of the biggest songs of the 50s. The Lion Sleeps Tonight. And so when I hear like Tina Marie them, and like even though when I was growing up I liked the sound, the music sound good, everything, me with my conscious mind, it makes me think of how they co-opted our music. They co-opted our culture, everything. You know what I'm saying? They get paid to make money off of it. You know why? We didn't make a damn thing off of it. Or we made way less than they did. Oh, you know, we didn't get recognized for, you know, whatever. You know, I know that's neither here or there. But I'm just saying, that's what it makes me think about when I hear these artists, even though their music sound good. You know what I'm saying? Even your Tina Marie's or, you know, your Electric, with that group, the ELO. You know what I'm saying? Evil Woman. You know, everybody co-opting all our music and stuff that sound like us. You know, and getting paid off of it. You know, your Eminems. You know what I'm saying? Now you got Negroes running around there calling him one of the greatest. You know, he was average to me. and he was garbage. But I'm just saying, the co-op thing, and become the greatest of all times or become the richest of all times. That's what I think about it.
I feel I don't know, this conversation go way off track, but let me say this. I feel two ways with white rastas, and here's the reason why. For a long time, the black Christians say that the Serapis, the little European guy with the sharp nose and the young guy with the long, they say that he's God, right? So the white Rastas say Haile Selassie, the black man, is God. So I feel two ways about it, because I'm saying, like, black people have been worshiping white Jesus for 400 years. If these white men want to twirl their hair up and consider Haile Selassie to be God, let them have a black God. No problem. I have no problem with that. But I understand the implications of it. Because you don't want it weaponized. And you see, in 400 years, Haile Selassie will turn into a European guy from Ethiopia. So you don't want them to try to kidnap your culture and pervert it and turn it into something else. So I understand that side of it. But I think it's funny, if they want to have a black God, I say let them, But that's just me.
Yeah, the funny thing, Haile Selassie said he wasn't black.
Oh, Anthony, that's a whole other discussion. And we could, I wish, well, the Jamaicans wouldn't want to hear that. No, not the Jamaicans. The Rastafarians wouldn't want to hear that. And the whole thing of what happened in Ethiopia and why he was overthrew.
They just heard it.
Yeah, that's a whole other kind of discussions that they would never want to have. But needless to say, I understand where you're coming from with that comment.
Right. So somebody had mentioned, the white Wazungu had, they had rhythm when the snow was pure, snow being a metaphor for something else. And so I was like, did they? And so maybe, just maybe, we can see for ourselves. Let's take a look.
Yeah, get that shit off of there, man.
So you guys tell me, did they have rhythm?
Diana wasn't pure. That wasn't that Colombian. They had cut it too many times, bro.
Man, they fucked up the electric. They fucked up everything.
Anthony, you sound, I don't know if this, and I'm not trying to be offensive, man. You sound like Jerome on Snowfall. I don't know if you watched that show, man. I've been watching it lately. Every time you talk,
It's fucked up.
Somebody told you that before? You sound like
yeah.
But let me ask, Anthony. All right, so you want to gatekeep your music and have it remain what it is, right? But you also want your music to be shared. If you live in, let's say that you don't, well, if you're in America or if you're anywhere as a musician, you want your music to be shared and sold, right? And you want your community to love and appreciate your music. But what if other people love and appreciate your music as well? Do you want to say, well, don't listen to our music. We're not selling to you. We're only selling exclusively to our black people. I mean.
Okay, I got you, boy.
Yes.
I got you. I'm gonna answer. I got you. I'm gonna answer. Okay, this is okay. Number one, okay, you gotta go by somebody's mindset. That's number one. Okay, if I'm a regular guy, if I'm a regular brother who's just making music and just want to get paid, you know what I'm saying, and not really talking about a message or nothing. Okay, yeah, hey man, everybody buy my shit. I don't give a damn. Okay, but me as a conscious black man, okay, I still don't. If a white person buy my music, hell, go ahead. Look, white people bought Public Enemy music. You know what I'm saying? They bought Public. Matter of fact, more white folks bought Public Enemy music and sometimes than the black people did. I mean, and that when Public Enemy was still real Public Enemy. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, you gonna always have white kids who listen to stuff, who rebelling against their parents. You know what I'm saying? And they use us. Like, well, they use us, our so-called our black rage or black anger or whatever, like something when they rebelling against their parents. Or when you got, like you had back in the 60s, how you had the hippies rebelling against the system. So what? You had hippies, you had these white boys and white girls running around, partying around, palling around with the Black Panthers, or palling around with other black radicals, or so-called radicals, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I understand that part. Like other people gonna hear something and might like it or whatever. No, I'm not saying, hey, I don't want you hungry about my shit. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying I make something specifically for my people. It's just like it's the sister who her name Chantel J. She has a black jewelry line, and she made these beautiful African earrings. These beautiful gold hoop earrings, the African earrings. Now, her slogan is she makes jewelry for black women. Now, a whole bunch of white women got on her case and everything, so it's saying you being racist, telling you make your stuff for black women. Now, she didn't say you couldn't buy her shit, but she said she made it specifically for black women. You know what I'm saying? White folks heard that, just the idea that they being excluded, they got tight. But she didn't say you couldn't buy her shit. You know what I'm saying? She said I make it for black women. I bought my sister-in-law Mika some of those earrings. What I'm saying, they beautiful. This Afrocentric stuff. You know what I'm saying? All of her jewelry, her shirts, and everything. She make it for black women, for black people, and for black women specifically. You know what I'm saying? So if a white woman wanted to buy those, say, "Oh, I like those earrings." Okay, she's not gonna go over there and say, "Don't buy my damn earrings, they ain't for you." You know what I'm saying, Buona? So if I make a song,
I understand, Anthony. Listen. One of my favorite artists in the world is a man of the Jamaican named Burning Spear, right? Now he sing like African postman. Christopher Columbus is a damn blasted liar.
yeah,
Marcus Garvey. Now, I've seen him do this in front of a large white audience, and the people seem to be cheering. In fact, Sinead O'Connor was singing about Marcus Garvey on Saturday Night Live. She took one of
yeah.
his songs, singing about Marcus. I'm like, do you know who Marcus Garvey is? It's crazy, but he was
Okay, but Buona,
yeah.
yeah, Buona, check this out. Sinead O'Connor again was one of those white children, those white kids who was rebelling against the system. Okay, remember she was rebelling against the power structure. She was rebelling against the Catholic Church. No, she was an Irish girl. You know what I'm saying? And for a long time, the Irish, some people, I never did believe in that shit, but they always call them the niggas of Europe. You know what I'm saying? The niggas of England or whatever. I didn't go for that. But I'm just saying, so they had a rebellious thing because they were rebelling against England. So you know what? Anything against the power structure. Marcus Garvey's message and those messages Bernie Spears' message was against the British colonial imperialism. You know what I'm saying? Imperialism in Africa. You know what I'm saying? So, and she's saying like, okay, well, you know what? There's also British imperialism in Northern Ireland. You know what I'm saying? So you could get where they're coming from, where they can hear that, and that message might be relevant to them.
Yes,
But
sir.
do you think?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but do you think actually, if you sit down and you listen and let her listen at Carlos Cooks, Marcus Garvey's greatest disciple, you know what I'm saying? Or really listen at Marcus, some of his, and let her read the philosophies and opinions. You know what I'm saying? You never know, she might turn white again. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you just hear a song, they hear a song, they hear the song, but they see the service but not the substance. You know what I'm saying? Like you hear those kids who listen to Public Enemy, who listen to reggae and whatever, and they might be, these hippies, they smoked out and stoned out, and it's all love. They remember Bob Marley, One Love. You know what I'm saying? But they don't remember. Yeah, but they don't remember black skins they never loved. Remember black skins they never loved. You know what I'm saying? They got to listen to that right now. Yeah, I'll leave it right there.
Man, this is beautiful, man. Who would have thought that a prompt about labor can lead to a discussion about music, man? So awesome. Ron, I did not know that Sinead O'Connor sang a song about Marcus Garvey.
It's on YouTube. Check it out. It's on YouTube.
Please forgive me if I don't check it out. But regardless of the fact, let's go ahead. We're getting towards the end of the night. Let's deal with our last prompt. Our last topic of the night here, and it is, why did Essence Festival fail in 2025? There was a lot of talk, a lot of controversy, a lot of takes. For those that are not in the United States, the Essence Festival is an annual festival celebrating Black essence. It was founded in part back in the 90s, the festival from the magazine, launched back, I believe, in the 70s or 60s. I'm sure somebody will correct me. We have a video prompt to go with this. Koku, please forgive me. This prompt comes to us from a podcast. It's been rumored that this podcast owner does what he does to try to get a copyright strike on usage of his podcast. So if this episode of 202 Shoot the Breeze gets a copyright strike, Koku, forgive me. We just want context and clarity on the Essence Festival. Once again, the Essence Festival is an annual festival, started in the 90s from the magazine that was started in the 60s or 70s. Well, let's go with the video to catch much context, much insight. Stand by.
Essence Fest.
Wow.
That was a good one.
Wow.
Segue. Tossing the mark.
Essence Fest, as you know, is an annual event in our culture, in our community. It's a dope event. I love Essence Fest for what it means. But this year was a little rough.
What happened?
Not much. It was sparsely attended. I think when I looked in the stands, maybe 60% of the seats were empty.
Who were the headliners?
You had Patti LaBelle was there, Jasmine Sullivan was there. Lauren was the headliner at the end.
Okay. Stephanie Mills
was there, and we're gonna talk about her because she just wrote an open letter to Essence Fest about.
And it was bad.
It was rough.
Glorilla was one of the main performers.
Yeah,
as well.
Glorilla was there. Mm-hmm. There was some great acts. It wasn't a lack of acts, but it just wasn't there. The vibe in New Orleans was dope as always because there's so many people descending down there, especially Black women.
It's the whole weekend, right?
It's the whole weekend.
It's not like one day. Okay.
No, it's the whole weekend. You go down there. There's events. There's panels. There's concerts. It's the whole thing. And Essence Fest is fire. I love Essence Fest. Yeah. It's just this year, it just wasn't well attended and it wasn't well managed. You know, the headline went out, and I got to correct the Lauryn Hill slander. Because people, you know, the headlines kept saying Lauryn Hill's show doesn't end till 3 a.m. Lauryn Hill was playing of 300 people.
Let me guess. You're thinking about going to therapy. And as a therapist myself, of course I'm going to say that's a great idea. But first, let's talk about the things they don't tell you. First of all, you're going to say, I'm fine, like 300 times. Spoiler alert, your therapist will see right through that. Mm-hmm. And how does that make you feel? Yes, they actually use this phrase.
It was true, but it wasn't her fault. That's why the headline was tricky. It talked about how late she performed, but she didn't arrive late. Lauren was on time. Everything was running 40.
The event ran late.
The event, well, I'll say
just so
when it was time to start, Lauren was there. When it was ready for Ron Isley was up like 3 hours past his bedtime. He didn't hit the stage till like 11 o'clock p.m. Mm-hmm. And everything was 40. When Ron Isley hit the stage, the act before him was running 45 minutes past the time Ron Isley was supposed to have ended. Like that's how late it was.
Why did it start so late?
Just that I can't say, but from what
niggas.
Yeah, I guess I can say. Yeah. Turns out I can.
There's been a lot of changes.
You can say it at this
job. Sorry, old habits.
There's been a lot of changes to like the infrastructure of people who were responsible for running the fest, and it's just. Unfortunately, they ran into a lot of inefficiency.
Yeah, a lot. Like Maxwell, for example, who also was another one of the big acts. He was supposed to start his performance at 11:15. He took the stage at basically 1 a.m., 12:55 a.m.
That's crazy.
So, 2 hours behind schedule.
Exactly. So Lauren didn't hit the stage. Lauren's set was supposed to start at like 2:00. Well, I mean, Maxwell, Lauren arrived on stage at 2:31. Like they took about 20 minutes to get her band together, do the setup. She didn't hit the stage till 2:31. Nobody was there. Her thing ended at 3:37 a.m.
That's horrible for a concert or a festival that's primarily aimed at an older generation. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
it's an uncle and auntie joint. It's not even the BET Award weekend, which is for like the generation.
That's the event that the uncles and aunties feel like they can get cute for.
Yeah,
Now you
yeah,
got me
right.
here all night in the shoes that hurt my feet.
Yeah. It's also the jewel in the crown. It's the one it's the thing that funds the magazine.
Yes.
Yeah. It's really important.
Stephanie Mills wrote, I'm not going to read the whole letter, but she wrote an open letter to the Essence organizers. She's writing to share my feedback. I'm remain grateful, all the yada, yada, yadas. But she said, the challenges I encountered were multifaceted and in my view, indicative of broader organizational shortcomings. The schedule and time management were severely lacking, creating a chaotic and stressful environment backstage. The disorganization cascaded onto the stage, impacting the flow of the event and ultimately diminishing the quality of the performances. And she said, basically, these are not isolated instances beyond the logistics, the technical difficulties, all of that. She was just saying it's an overall issue. I don't love that she did that. She is,
you know Stephanie Mills?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, and, yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised that
it read very Stephanie Mills.
Yo, for sure.
Every paragraph said the same shit. Yo, these niggas fucked up. They fucktards, below standard. Get it right.
Right.
In a very professional way.
I just wonder what that letter would have meant behind, backstage or behind the scenes or whatever. But
sometimes you got to do it publicly.
Sometimes I'm not sure if I love it. You know what I mean? Essence has a long history of doing it right, so I feel like although this year was terrible,
but she said it's been new people.
Yeah, no, and the new regime is extremely new. Like as late as like last year before, it was run very efficiently. So,
or our performances might have been lackluster.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want to take the brunt for that. We want to put it out there like, yo, I rushed through my set, or I gave you a half-ass set because we went on 2 hours late.
Yeah, I feel
you know
that.
What I'm saying?
I feel that.
I don't want it to be a reflection on me. It was them.
The thing is, I will say most, and I saw pieces of, because they didn't do the whole full stream like they used to, which is another thing that I thought was interesting. Everything I saw looked good. Lauren's set, which was the headline set, was a dope set as well. She even took some requests from the crowd, which she could hear because there was only like 300 people there. So, no, I'm not even being funny.
No, I heard it was dope, but they showed the seating and it was empty.
Somebody literally shouted out, yo, do Gotta Find Peace of Mind. And she was like, all right, we didn't practice that, but I'll do it. And she did it. She did tell him, and she was at the end of the set, she was like, she was looking to one of the fans, like, I had to look at you for the lyrics because I couldn't remember them. But she was trying to engage the audience at 3:30 a.m.
Very professional. That's very dope.
That's what I'm saying.
And that leaves honestly, that makes it a more intimate show. Even if it's a big venue or something, those fans that was there, they remember that than just the show where you just ran through your normal
3
joint.
o'clock in the morning for me.
I had basically a one-on-one with Lauryn Hill.
Which is crazy. The other thing I want to add is it's not just Essence. I want to talk about the Essence in a minute, but it's not just Essence. The Jazz Festival, a couple of annual jazz festivals have been down in attendance. Like a lot of big black festivals are down now. And what I'm wondering is maybe we should stop trying to have these things every year. Maybe this needs to be an every 2-year thing, every 4-year thing.
Why?
Well,
because
nobody says the same thing. I mean, attendance being down is one thing, but we got to think about the reasons as to why.
Talk to me about that. Yeah, what do you think?
Niggas is fucked up. Money is down for people, bro. This is it ain't just jazz festivals.
But that's another reason to do it every other year.
Dog, we talked about Summer Jam going from MetLife to Arena. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's down.
I see. So then what do we do here?
I don't feel like that's that. I feel like that's lazy.
I heard people.
I feel like that's lazy.
Some people said that the Essence Festival was down because they started to get advertising dollars from Target.
No. See, that's what's incorrect. So the CEO of no, okay, all right, finish. Go ahead.
No, but if
you got it, Finn.
No, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
that's all right. Yeah, finish. What you saying?
I was just gonna say because there was a lot of criticism. Finish.
No,
go ahead.
I'm laughing at Flip, but go ahead.
Somebody, please.
Wait, come on,
please.
Okay.
I went from irregular eating, fatigue, and the gym 6 times a week to healthy eating habits, productive days, and
there was a lot of criticism in regards to Essence Magazine, their main sponsor being Target, because of the boycott that is still in effect. But the issue with that is Carolyn Wanga is the CEO of Essence, and she used to be head of DEI at Target.
For 15 years.
Exactly. And so when you have a contract with an organization like Target, they have been a long-running sponsor. This is pre-boycott. This is pre-everything. You can't just get out of that contract just because of, political issues or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? And then she was also kind of responsible for bringing Target into Black, communities and pairing, I guess, getting more, what?
I'm not laughing at you. Everything you're saying is 100%. I was just thinking about all the Black people I know who support concerts and don't give a damn who the sponsor is. I'm thinking of all the uncles that go to the Newport Jazz Festival.
Right.
And they've been killing us for like 30 years.
Right.
Tavis Smiley's events talks about Wells Fargo. I'm just thinking,
selective outrage.
I'm not sold.
That's how they get in when we boycott.
But not just that. When you have Tamika Mallory and you have other people come prior to the actual Essence Festival, start pointing out that we're not going this year because of these things. That is they are influential people, and they could potentially.
Y'all might be right.
And they could potentially turn.
I'm just not sold that that's why Black people didn't go.
I'm saying maybe not. I'm just giving you an example.
I just ain't never met a person that said I'm not going because Target's a sponsor. I don't know of any Black person that would go to.
That's not the reason why. That ain't the reason why. That's just an additive. Something that we noticed while we was mad.
I ain't met a Black person that was really boycotting Target.
That's the other thing.
I'm talking about that I've met.
There's a lot.
I'm agreeing with
I've heard
you.
people say it.
There's a lot of people.
And I ran into them people in Target. What you doing here?
Just making sure y'all niggas ain't here.
That's your man?
No, Joe Biden.
All right. And once again, this is Shoot the Breeze. Topic number 5. Why did Essence Festival fail 2025? That clip was from the Joe Budden podcast. Joe Budden, if you are watching or anybody from his team, don't copy strike. Do not copy strike this episode, especially with me hosting. This might be my last time hosting. Koku, forgive me. Let's read some of these comments before we get into our panelists' thoughts and comments. BBN says, peace and Black African power. Peace and Black African power to you, BBN. Wana says, Bakari, please come on to help address this. APTV says, are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? In response, Cheryl says, I've heard some things, but I don't know, in response to why the Essence Festival failed this year. APTV also adds in, start your own festival. Well, Cheryl, what say you? What do you think? Why did the Essence Festival 2025 fail?
Honestly, I haven't been really following it. I hear a lot of things, but okay, so because I don't know too much about it, like the only perspective I can take is one where something is typically run by a Black person and then it's taken over by someone who doesn't kind of understand the culture of that festival as it's been running for however long it's been successful. Because a festival doesn't just run and it's successful for how many years? It started in the 90s, like early 90s?
1995 is, I believe.
95?
Give me a moment.
Wow.
You keep
95?
talking. I'll confirm that. Give me a moment. You keep talking, though.
Yeah, so if it was 95, so 95, 2005, 15, so that's like 30 years, right? So 30 years, it's been running great, right? And then all of a sudden it falls off. I don't know. All I know is it kind of sounds like when Black people have control over something and then someone who doesn't understand the culture starts running it, and it takes a radical shift in people. It's kind of like, like a TV show where maybe a Black person is given the autonomy or given the I'm trying to find the word. They're given the control over how the content is run, and then all of a sudden someone else takes over it that doesn't really understand the rhythm of that particular show or that particular festival, and then it just gets thrown off and it throws people off, so they just stop coming. So that's the only thing I'm thinking of. So maybe there's a cultural disconnect somewhere, and that's all I'm really thinking.
Appreciate your comments, Cheryl. As we got it confirmed, yeah, Essence Festival of Culture, largest African American culture and music event in the U.S. The annual music festival started in 1995 in New Orleans to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Essence magazine. Let's start with Black Steel. Black Steel, what say you? Why did Essence Festival fail 2025?
Man, we broke, man. That's the long and short of it. I love the panelists. Sometimes we like to have lots of detailed answers, but sometimes the shortest answer is the easiest answer. We are broke. Okay, people do not have the money to go to Essence Festival this year. All right, it's just how it is. I mean, there was a study that said that mortgage delinquencies are up 200%, credit card bills up, car payments are behind. People are struggling. Okay, so they didn't have the extra income to go to Essence Fest this year. That's it, and that's all. And whenever we always have the expression, when white people get a cold, black people get pneumonia, right? Whatever white people are going through financially, black people are gonna get it worse. All right, people got no money, and when you don't have any money, you gotta limit your purchases. People are gonna spend their money on their necessities. You gotta have food. You gotta have groceries. You gotta have gas for your car. You gotta be able to get around. So once you take care of the necessities, you don't got a lot of money left over. Black people are poor. So, and they talking about, they didn't know the culture or such person. Man, people are broke. This don't have nothing to do with no Black Americans versus Africans in diaspora. It don't have anything to do with that. They don't have the money. They don't have any money. That's really what it boils down to. I'm sure if they had the money, if finance was doing well, more people would have been there. More vendors would have attended. Excuse me, but overall, people just don't have no money, and they're struggling to make ends meet. And you're not gonna have a lot of money to go see the Essence Festival. And I'm sorry, Lauryn Hill has a bad reputation. She's always late, or she doesn't show up at all. So the fact that she showed up on time, somebody must really talk to her. So, but otherwise, no, people just are struggling. I don't care where the CEO or whoever was planning from. People are broke right now. If the economy was doing better, I'm pretty sure there would have been more people attending. But as it is, people just broke. Sorry to hear that, but I mean, it is what it is.
Appreciate it. Yeah, CEO is a Kenyan woman. So if there is blame on her, it leads to a lot of questions. Black Steel, what say you? Why did the Essence Festival 2020?
I think that's BS. Just because she's from Kenya, so what? Like, what does her being from Kenya have to do with the state of the economy? We have to be really, really careful, right? I have been seeing this Black Americans versus African diaspora mess all over my feed. It is ridiculous. It is such a manufactured bullshit dispute. And I've never seen no FBA nigga in person in the real world ever in my life. These people do not exist except for online. And I'm gonna tell you, when you get outside and you go around other black people, you have black people from all over the world interacting, hanging out with each other, having children, relationships. It is what it is. You don't see this in real life. So when I hear these people talk about the disrespect from the diaspora, I don't see that. I don't see that. It's ridiculous when you hear it online, and when you step outside, you have Black Americans hanging out with Jamaicans. You got Nigerians hanging out with the Haitians. Everybody is just getting along, making jokes, having fun with each other, right? I had a student from Nigeria, right? He decided to wear some traditional Nigerian clothes for Spirit Week, right? Nobody made fun of him. It was like, oh, you got that shit on, cuz that looks tight. I love it. I love it. There was no, or you not from here. You ain't no FBA. You ain't no A. Nobody's saying that dumbass shit in real life. So to me, when I hear people trying to say the Essence Festival didn't do well because this person from this country didn't understand Black Americans don't understand Black Americans. Okay? If you think a Black American in New York and a Black American in Los Angeles and a Black American in Mississippi all see stuff the same, they don't. We have our own regional shit with us. So when I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent here. It's this manufactured shit is so see through. Like you got to be a blind man not to see this is some reactionary made up shit. You can't. I don't know what to say, man. This shit is so hilarious to me.
Appreciate it, Black Steel. Brother Bakari, first welcome to the show. And what say you? Why did Essence Festival 2025 fail?
Okay, peace to everybody on the panel in the chat. First, that's one thing I touched on earlier. That, people have lost jobs. Since June 1, 38,000 Black women have been laid off. Essence Festival catered to Black women. Now, when everybody's talking about the Kenyan CEO, when they mention her, that's why I put in the chat. People haven't looked up the story. She's on leave. She she didn't even have anything to do with the Essence Festival. There's a white group called the Solomon Group that run all the operations for the Essence Festival. Essence was sold to Time Warner in the year 2000. The year 2012, they hired a white group called the Solomon Group to run everything with the Essence Festival. That's who do the operations. That's who does the productions. In 2018, it was sold to a Liberian brother, but he kept the Solomon Group on. I don't know why. The lady, Caroline Wanger, she said her Essence didn't agree with her mission. Her mission was to create a global Black economy. She wanted to promote and advertise the Essence Festival outside of America to other Black people. She realized she don't have any power. She was just a face, just like she was with Target. Now, my people from New Orleans would tell you the last good Essence Festival. Now, he said the amount of people that he say Essence Festival has been falling off since 2012 when the white company took over. He said people just complaining now because they want to point fingers at that woman they found the CEO was from the continent of Africa. So now they just want to point fingers. But he say it's been falling off ever since the white group called the Solomon Group took over the Essence Festival. So, and on top of that, what people going through financially right now, that has a whole lot. That has a whole lot to do with why anyone wasn't there. But I heard these so-called Black Americans, whatever the hell they are, talk about Stephanie Mills. They say Stephanie Mills let you know that it was the CEO fault. And she didn't say anything about the CEO. She said production and operations. And most people would think that production and operations is done by the CEO, but it's not. They have an outside company. Once again, the name of it is the Solomon Group. When I did my live today, I showed all the employees. It was 27 employees, 5 of them are Black, that run and set up the Essence Festival, and it was done when Time Warner bought Essence. And what I say is, if people have a problem with if this such Black American, if that's what they call themselves, I'm not that, I'm African American, but if they feel someone is messing up their culture, a so-called Black American could have bought Essence in 2000, but didn't. A so-called Black American could have bought Essence in 2018, but didn't. But we always look to fight each other. We always look to fight each other, and they can make money, especially these people with these bigger channels. They can make money on social media by arguing and complaining about someone about a different black person, an African person that is not from the United States, and they're going to say it's their fault. And that's my take on it. And if everything I said, you can look it up and you can find it yourself. And when the CEO of Essence spoke out there, when she let people know that she's on leave and been on leave for a while, she didn't even have anything to do with it. But nobody want to talk about the Solomon Group. None of these so-called FBA, ADOs, whatever the hell they are on social media, want to talk about the Solomon Group, white people. And according to my friend and his wife, since 2011, the Essence Festival has been going down. On that, I yield the mic.
Appreciate it, Bakari, and also welcome to the show once again. That's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Yeah, I hear that you agree with Black Steel about the economy. The economy right now, people might not have money for these same things that they had money for, like you said, back in 2012. Juana, what say you? Why did
what can I say that the brothers address it? I'm not familiar with the Essence Festival. They are familiar with the Essence Festival. I would assume, with the Caribbean population in America, the reason why they ain't going is ISIS at every event. We in hiding right now. Yeah, because because a lot of our famous may not be straight. And this guy, he is trying to send everybody home. So we're trying to go to the festival right now. We ducking out of the festivals. But to what Brother Bakari said, he has done a lot of research on the issue, and he's cleared up a lot of things on his panel. A lot of people don't even know who the Solomon Group is. And on his channel earlier, he showed that many of these people are not from the African community in America. A lot of them are not from that community. And he addressed all the details of it. And as he said that a lot of these people are just trying to pay their rent, on YouTube. Black Steel say that, people are broke. So they're resorting to a whole lot of desperate things to pay their rent at the end of the month, even if it means creating and causing division among black people everywhere. It's interesting that these people, I mean, they'll destroy everything just to make sure that, well, I guess they're desperate, and people do desperate things, and it's unfortunate. But I'm happy that Brother Bakari and Black Steel was able to bring some clarity to what in fact is going on in the United States right now. We all know who the person in power is and what he's doing. And it's causing a lot of people to economically tighten their belt. So if they don't have time to party and dance and show and do whatever they do at the Essence Festival, there's reasons that are outside of the fact that this lady is from Kenya and the owner is a Liberian. So I'm glad that he was able to clear that up. I'll leave it there.
Appreciate it, Buana, and appreciate your perspective being outside of the country. The economy, it sounds like it's a consensus that it is a big thing. I can even speak for a personal perspective. I went grocery shopping today, and the cost of organic eggs, I usually get the brown eggs just because I feel like I get more out of the brown eggs than I do the white shells. And it was $12.43. $12.43. $12. Hey, I'm Gen Z. Like, come on. Hey, what's it gonna be like when I get in my 40s? Anyways, Anthony, what say you? Anthony, what say you? What do you think? Why Essence fell short this year?
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much agree with the brothers, man. The money funny, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people, the way things are right now. Hey, man, look here. I'm telling you right now, I'm a big dude, man. You know what I'm saying? I weigh 300 pounds. I like to eat, and I'm seriously thinking on becoming a vegetarian now. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how high the food is, how high this meat is now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to tighten your belts, man. I mean, it's ridiculous. But it's the pro, man. When I seen the pro, I'm like, I was disappointed in a way. That's kind of crazy. I was disappointed because that's what I thought it was going to be, was about this divide between two groups of African people. You know, the continental Africans and the Africans here. Because I've been seeing it all day and for the last couple of days. You know, all on IG. I did a post on IG. I sent it to Koku, man. I did a video myself about this bullshit, man. About the foolishness, the silliness of this bullshit. Because they had Negroes on there talking about Essence Fest ain't what it used to be. It ain't Black American no more. You know, it's these Africans now. This is what these Africans that took over and all of those shit. And like brother Bakari said, man, look here. Look here. White folks been on in Essence for the last what? Damn near last 15 years. Really for the last 20-some years over a period of time. Where the brother from Liberia had it for a minute. And then, you know, he had his little issues. And like he kind of like delegated power to the sister, man, from Uganda. But I'm saying, white folks control that shit. It's just like BET, Black Entertainment TV. White folks run that shit. You know what I'm saying? Essence, white folks run that shit. I've seen the whole stuff. Matter of fact, it's about 3 of them. It was about 3 brothers and sisters that I've seen on there. You know what I'm saying? But no, man, it's just like the shit is so ridiculous, man. You know, every time I hear that, that's why I like what I was saying when I was talking to my brother, man, Buana, about this whole about these titles and these titles that these fools come up with. And like I was looking on the day, man, and I see it was one motherfucker came on there talking that old bullshit that's like anti-African, continental African thing. I looked at the profile, I said, man, you white. You know what I'm saying? I said, man, look, what you doing in this conversation? You know what I'm saying? This is a whole white boy. You know what I'm saying? Up there trying to throw salt in the game. You know, about this this old continental African and diaspora African divide. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of times, them, well, you know, it's some brainwashed Negroes. There's a lot of brainwashed Negroes. It's more than we want to give credit for. But I mean, a lot of times, man, there'll be some white folks with that shit, man. Be pushing that shit. They definitely pushing it because that's the only person who would benefit. It don't benefit our black ass one bit. It don't benefit me not one bit to be against Buana, a Bahamian brother. You know what I'm saying? It don't benefit me one bit to be against Cheryl, a Nigerian sister, whatever. You know, against Jacadero or Kenya. Where does it benefit me to talk shit about Jacadero? About, man, fuck you. You ain't damn one. You not like us. It ain't benefit me damn one bit. But who it does benefit is the motherfucker that want to keep us apart. You know what I'm saying? Because they know if I come over there with my heat, and I come over there with you with your heat, and then you got the land and all that other stuff, man, that's gonna be some trouble right there. You know what I'm saying? So it benefit who? It benefit it benefit these white motherfuckers. It benefit everybody, all these other motherfuckers that don't look like us, who want to keep us divided, so they can get the shit that they can keep control of the shit that we got. But that's up under our feet. You know what I'm saying? In our soils or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Our potentials, whatever. You know, even if it's like, hey, you smart black dude, you smart black girl, over there in Kenya, man, don't stay over there in Kenya. You know, Kenya's a graveyard. You know what I'm saying? You go there to get buried. You know, bring all your talent and skill over here to me. You know, or come over and help us build our shit up here in the UK or in France and Germany and Russia or wherever. You know what I'm saying? Or in America. Or hey, black boy, black girl, you in America, don't take your shit over there to help your brothers and sisters over there. No, build up infrastructure, give them military technology or whatever to help them on the continent. Now you come over here and join my military and go over there and get in a plane and go over there and attack the motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And drop a bomb on Tanzania, or drop a bomb on Somalia, or drop a bomb on Sudan or Kenya. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do. I'm saying it don't benefit us at all, man. Neither one. It don't benefit a continental African. It don't benefit a diaspora African. It might benefit your one individual pocketbook for a minute, but when they through with you, guess what? You're gonna be right back over there with your people again. So, man, you know, this is bullshit. You know, trying to when you had these Negroes on here, I mean, it made me sick with them. I had to block some motherfuckers and shit. You know what I'm saying? With all that, because they was all in my comment section talking about, man, what you talking about? They were calling me saying I was a tether, I was a Ford, I was a black immigrant, all this old shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, man, y'all need to quit that foolishness, man. Like I said, I did a video on it, man. But yeah, I mean, I think at the bottom line, the reason why it failed is like Bakari said, like Black Steel said, man, we ain't got no goddamn money to be spending on this shit. That's number one. And number two, like I'm saying, when you got people who controlling shit, who don't know nothing about it, don't know what to do with shit, you know what I'm saying, and got other agendas, the shit gonna fail anyway, because it wasn't authentic, man. It wasn't authentic. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the best thing that could have happened for Essence Fest is for the sister, her plan to take it global blackness. You know what I'm saying? To take it outside of the borders of America, to show the African culture in America, but also in how it relates to the African culture in the Caribbean, or the African culture in Central and South America, or the African culture on the continent. To show, to unite them. That would have been the good thing to make it grow. But you know what? Somebody said, "Nah, we don't want to see that shit right there. Nah, that's too good right there. Ain't no telling what that shit might lead to. Next thing we know, that shit might have us out of pocket." But yeah, man, yeah, it's just like, it was some bullshit, man. But I just like, the hell with it, man. We got better things to do anyway.
Appreciate it, Anthony. You said that they not like us, huh? Appreciate it. Brother Bakari, question for you. You had said that your friends and relatives have claimed that the Essence Festival and held annually in New Orleans hasn't been good since 2012. Do you think that there's any redeeming? You think that we would be able to that there's a chance that we could bring this back?
Yes, once they get rid of the Solomon Group, who's been in control of it since 2012, who's been in control of operations and productions. If you listen to Stephanie Mills' letter, what she talked about, the production and operations, and go look and see who's in control of it and been in control of it since 2012.
Good point.
Find you a black group, find you a black company that can come in and do it right. That's gonna benefit the culture. That's gonna benefit the culture. Then it would. Then it could, but until this economy get better, I'm being honest, man. Like the first people that was truly attacked, black folks losing jobs. In all honesty, it was black women. When they attacked that government, you know how many black people lost jobs. You know how many black women lost jobs. And like I said, you can look up since June 1, 38,000 black women private has lost jobs. So if it caters to women, if it caters to women, to our women, and our women is constantly losing jobs, how who's gonna be there? You know?
Butter Bakari. Butter Bakari. When
Yeah.
I when I see this divisive thing go online, right? See, let me give you in the Bahamas, right? In the Bahamas, what happens is because of the Haitian immigration here, the ridiculous Bahamians start blaming the Haitians for everything that happening to them personally, right? And they've been doing that for decades. Haitians been coming to this country for decades. I mean, like years, literally hundreds of years, but very long. And my father, when I was a young man, my father said these people are fools. Why would they? My father used to give Haitians jobs. My father used to do a lot of things for the Haitian people. Even when Jamaicans used to come to the country, when Jamaicans come to the country, my father built a bunch of different apartments, and the Jamaicans come here, they get jobs, and they end up living in his apartments. They paying him rent. So he is facilitating, and he create a situation where, okay, well, these people come in here, they have needs. They may need some place to live, they need some place to shop, they need some place to go to church, they need to all these different venues, right? Why not facilitate these things? I mean, I'm not to say it's on completely capitalist and selfish. But if you create infrastructure, the complaints will go away. So okay, these people they come here, they have needs as well. So I am creating a situation where they come in here, they can come in anyways. They have to have all these things they may need in coming here. So I'm gonna facilitate and say, okay, there's gonna be an exchange. Your labor for whatever you could do, then I am able to exchange that with some of the monies that you're gonna have to pay me in renting, in living, in eating, and all these kinds of other things. So the contempt goes away because there's an exchange that's going across the board. But when you come into the country and we fighting at the bottom for the same job and the same position, because you have created, well, some people, not everyone, some people have created nothing for themselves for the 30 and 40 and 50 years they've been on the planet. Now you fighting for a job to sweep the floor because you have not made the best of your life. You know what I mean? So now you're looking for someone to blame. You're looking for someone to blame. But you have to look at that big nosed person in the mirror. You know, these people are, oh goodness, man. But I just see the same dynamic and scenarios that's going on in my country when I hear these kinds of comments. You're projecting comments. You know, these people are not changing. They try to get a little job, a little job, a little job where they could work and send some money back home. You say that you are the son of the soil. Well, let me facilitate. Let me help you. You need some place to eat. You need some place to stay. You need so many different things. I could facilitate. If I had my own industries and communities and different things where we could have a barter and exchange, and you come to my business, then you could build up a whole industry of people coming to the Americas because you've been there so long. So you should have so many different institutions. So, okay, Brother Bakari, you have this business. How could let me go work for him? Let me go work for him. Let me go give him my labor instead of going to the white corporation or the white person to give them my labor. Let me go mess with Brother Bakari. You know, loyalty develops there, a sense of community, international community, because if I have a relationship with you in America, that means when you come to my country, we have a relationship there too. That's my boss. In America, he's my boss. Anything he wants, he gets when he comes to my country. You see the exchange that develops, but I don't know. If you, well, that's a whole other discussion. I'll just leave it. I'll leave it.
Appreciate it, Buana. We got one last panelist that hasn't gotten his or her 2 cents. I'm not sure on who this is, but Nappy, first, welcome to the show. And what say you? Why did Essence Festival 2025?
I don't think who says it failed. First of all, because I saw some spots where it was crowded and people were actually having fun, right? Obviously, they keep showing that Lauryn Hill clip. Well, first of all, the woman keeps showing up late. All right, that's number one. Number two, it was 3 something in the morning. Guys were probably partied out. Okay, but my problem, more than anything, with looking at this thing, are a lot. It just shows you how what whores, and I'll just say that word, that some of these YouTubers are. Right? Like a lot of these bigger social media people decided to go and grab the algorithm, all right, at the expense of any sort of dignity, at the expense of doing just a little bit of research, all right, just a little bit. Like Bakari did, I don't know if it was you who came when I did my live or, another person came, but just a little research to see that wasn't the case. From what I understand, there are some vendors that opted out because, from what I've read, it got too corporate. Well, goddamn, what's more corporate than Time Incorporated, which bought the shit back in 2005 and had it for 15 years? All right? It's always been corporate. Always. So what was it? And by the way, if you didn't go to that because of Jollof rice, I'm just gonna I think this is some social media shit because if you didn't go because of that, now the Essence Festival, I've never been to one, but I'm guessing it's big. I'm guessing it's big, and that's another thing. Some of these dudes who are criticizing it start off their conversation by saying, "Oh, I've never went to an Essence Festival." Huh? What? Then how can you criticize it? How would you didn't go and you didn't support Black Americans like the homegrown Master P, the legend down there, or Glorilla, or Boyz II Men? There was only one so-called non-Black American artist, and that was Buju Banton. But so what? You didn't go because they played Afrobeats and Jollof Rice, but yet you had no complaints when Time bought the freaking magazine. This is just, I gotta tell you, man. I mean, it's pretty disgusting, and I can name some of the big platforms that grabbed onto this and ran with it because they're chasing the algorithm. All right, it's funny. This is happening during the Diddy trial. You're seeing the same thing happening with that. People that have absolutely no freaking character, and they're going with this samboed out, just self-hating take that, oh, Black Americans get disrespected, blah blah blah. People who, and I'm gonna keep it a buck, they clearly haven't gone past the corner store of their neighborhood. They go to a corner store, they go to work, they go home, they go shop. That's it. They haven't traveled at all. All right? It is just, it's just disgusting, man. But that more than anything, these people, and I don't want to name, I'm not gonna name any of them on your platform, but big YouTubers who could have done a little research, just a little, just Google and go to an AI Google, it'll tell you. But you decided to go for the algorithm and disrespect Black people on a whole, disrespect our intelligence, and I just unsubscribe. I just can't with some of these people that have become absolute and complete whores for this algorithm. That's it.
Appreciate it, Nappy. Question. Yeah, loud and clear. Appreciate it, Nappy. Question for you. So you've heard discourse that people were avoiding the Essence Festival because, quote unquote, food from Black America was not heavily represented, or like there was Joe.
But this is what. No, I mean, I keep hearing the Jollof and American Rice. Who gives a shit? Who Jollof versus American Rice? Who cares? Who cares? Or they played Afrobeats there. Who gives a damn? Who cares? I mean, okay, what was that the whole festival, or was that just a part of it? Really? All right. If the vendors didn't go there because it was too Africanized, they are not good businessmen. You want anybody to buy your shit, and let me tell you what is going to happen really soon with this ridiculous take with Black Americans and delineate. Okay, here's what's going to happen, and as a matter of fact, let me just go back for a second. I went to TikTok, and there was one brother who was clearly Black American who was going in on these fools who were saying it was too African. He said something that stuck me. He said, listen, somebody buys something, it's theirs now, not yours. All right? The fact is that this African guy who bought Essence, he can do whatever the fuck he wants with it. Who are you? You don't like, if you wanted it so badly, why didn't you compete like he did? All right, and buy Essence. There were people back in 2005 that had money. You guys love talking about how all these Black billionaires and what have you. Puffy had money back then. Jay-Z had money. Cosby had money. This is before they got, they started getting hemmed up. All of these guys got money. There were Black businessmen out there. You could have went out there and competed. That African guy that bought Essence Incorporated, He went out and competed and bought and got it from time. Why didn't you get it if you wanted? But what happens is you build up shit, and then when somebody comes in and sees what you built and takes it and makes it their own, you start complaining. And I think that what will happen, and I don't know, but I've seen this happen before. Essence will become something totally different. What if he decides to expand it and put European stuff and all this other stuff? He has the right to do so. Then you complain about it then, but why didn't you buy it if this was so important? The fact is, Essence Festival isn't that important to you. Again, most of these people didn't go. I saw that one weirdo online, that black Richard Simmons character who's always trolling. Obviously, you people make careers now of being a freaking troll. That Richard Simmons guy, he was saying, "Oh, it's gotten too African." He's never been there. None of these guys have ever been there. So how are you going to sit down and complain? All because you see in the algorithm, these Africans are taking this shit. What shit? What are you talking about? What things are you talking about? Black billionaires, all of them are black Americans. So what did they take over? Man, I can't even. Like I said, man, it has nothing to do with that. I'm more disgusted with these big again, these big social media people. I've learned you really got to wait to see what they're about, because some of them can turn out to be weirdos. Again, I'm not going to name any names on the platform, but I'm more disgusted with them, that they, with all their resources, couldn't step back and just do a little research, and give their audience the right information instead of running with the algorithm and just giving out total disinformation. You lose all credibility. I don't care if you got 1 million subs. Yeah.
Appreciate it, Nappy. Question for Black Steel, or the rest of the panel. Do you guys feel that going forward, any type of festivals that were based in the United States, that because of what was spilled over on social media, some Black people will stay away thinking that, well, hey, I got to do research on the CEO. I got to do research on the founder. And if
Probably not. It's probably not going to happen. You have to
They
understand.
are dumb as hell if they do that. So
Yeah,
you're gonna
it's not
stay away
gonna
from a festival and that. You are dumb. You are a. I'm trying not to curse. I don't know. Look,
go ahead, speak freely. Speak freely. Speak freely, Nappy.
Dumb motherfucker. You are a dumb motherfucker if you do that. You are dumb as. You're gonna stay away. What? Because of African did, but you had the Solomon people. Before I just told you, white people who run all that shit. You have no problem with it, right? Absolutely no. These people they're cockroaches. They're cockroaches. So you're gonna stay away from a festival because of an African? You are disgusting. Disgusting. Some of these people, man, I really, like I said, some of these people worthless. As from a dude from a clown, just look who the clown who started this stuff. Or clowns, excuse me. A few of them. It's disgusting, man. It really is. Totally disgusting.
What's going to happen is
Right? You're a businessman, and you're not going to go and sell to Africans. You complain about them selling to you. You're not going to sell to them. Give them some new culture. But go ahead and say, listen, this is authentic right here. What we have, this is authentic New Orleans. You didn't want to go because it's African and Jollof. I need to see. Yeah, I'm letting the social media get to me. I want to see a businessman that was stupid enough to say, "Oh, I'm not going there because Africans are there." I want to see. Please show your face. I want to see who's bold enough to show their face and say, "Yeah, I'm a businessman. I didn't want to go and support, the hometown hero, Master P, or all these other people out there because they had Jollof there and Afrobeats."
What's going to happen is, as a business person, what's going to happen is, see, I applaud, and Brother Bakari said that the majority of these people was white folks as a part of the Solomon group. And there is an issue with that to be addressed. But what's going to happen is, if you try to expand your money into trying to get other people within the black community who may not necessarily be black American, you have Africans and Caribbean people, but they bring in money as well. So if you don't want them to patronize your venue, what's going to happen is a bunch of Caucasian people are going to start coming in because they appreciate the music as well. So when it turns into from principally a black American venue, when it's filled out to a white American venue, then they're going to be complaining that, oh, it used to be black, now it's European. Do you know, and maybe Anthony and Brother Bakari could confirm this, in a lot of the blues festivals that's had in the United States of America, look at the audience. Look at the audience. If other group of people appreciating your music and paying you and giving you money to hear your music, but your own community has ostracized you, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to close up shop and say, well, okay, these people don't like their own music, so I should stop as a businessman from selling this music or providing this service to people who may appreciate it. No, you're gonna go where the money is. Yeah, as a business person. Now that may be wrong for some people. That may be wrong, but at the end of the day, you don't want your business to fail. So you're gonna go to the people who appreciate your music, paying customers, paying patronizers of your music. And the fact that these people are trying to go within the black community, within other parts of the black community, and say, well, okay, let's make it more inclusive and bring more people in. So, well, we don't want that. Well, who do you want? If you are not patronizing your event to the extent to where you are seeing a profit or a return, what do you expect to happen? What do you expect to happen? Needless to say, I say, I wish all the best for all the brothers and sisters who see things in only one particular way. If that's the way y'all want to go, I wish you all the best of luck and success.
By
Yo,
the way, and I
can I say
told.
something real quick?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this, then I'm gonna listen up. Uh, look, and the whole thing is, bruh, something Nap said, something I said earlier. They have no problem with white people owning and running it. Black people in America. I'm gonna tell you, I don't call myself a black American, and I ask people not to call me a black American. I'm African American, because these people, it used to be interchangeable, but today, and these people following this social media stuff, and I know black still say he have a admit in it. I met a lot of them. Shit, I got a nephew. That's one. But these people have won the plantation lottery, and they want to erase Africa because the only thing we have in common is we both know we can't be white, but the black American is trying to be white adjacent, and that's what they're trying to do. And they're not gonna ever say anything about them Urugos because that's really truly what they want to be. They don't want to be. They either trying to be white adjacent or they trying to be American adjacent. Anything other than African. So they are black Americans. I'm African American, like my ancestors were, like my great grandmama was, who came here and was born into slavery, like my grandmama was, who was born before the 1900s. So that's my take. They trying to be white adjacent, in these big YouTube channels. No, there's a lot of people out here that's gullible and will fall for anything, and all they have to do is say it. And all you have to do is want to fight other black people, because you fight other black people, black people gonna jump on board. I yield the mic.
These people, you know what they are? They're the new age. They're the new age. They're the new age talent and pen for blue bloods. That's all they are.
Yeah.
This is the modern day talented 10. They aren't even that talented. How about that? They aren't even talented like that.
Jagadero,
Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
tell you, this reminds me. I mean, it's a subject that we could talk about for a minute. But what it reminds me of? It's just like Bakari said, man. We could find all kind of ways to have smoke with each other, man. Like I'm saying, like I told you, I was listening at this stuff today, yesterday about what the brother was talking about the Jolo Rice and the jambalaya. That's what it was. They were talking about the battle between Jolo Rice versus jambalaya. That's what they were talking about. I mean, I'm just laughing at it because I mean I'm from Louisiana and I eat both of them, and they both the same damn thing. Really, the same thing. But I'm like, it makes me think about. You remember a couple of years ago, they had a beauty pageant. I don't know if it was a year or two ago, but they had a beauty pageant in
South Africa.
Southern Africa. They had a beauty pageant in South Africa. And don't you know, Negroes, rather than to celebrate another sister, a black sister winning, they applauded this old white cave bitch for winning. You know what I'm saying? A descendant of the colonizers. You know what I'm saying? The people who run South Africa's economy, run the mines, got all of the money. Who got their foot on it, they applauded her for winning. I mean, they applauded her. They rooted for her to win than a sister, because the sister was born in Mozambique. You know what I'm saying? Because the sister had a Nigerian father and a Mozambican mother. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just how colonized our minds are, man. With this foolishness, with this idiotic stuff. But I mean, it just kills me, man, that when I hear brothers and sisters, all that shit they was talking today. I mean, they was getting on my ass, man. Oh, I had to do a whole bunch of cussing and threatening and deboing and everything today on social media. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause they were coming at me. Because I made a video about how stupid this shit is. These brothers talking about it ain't black America no more and all this old bullshit. And I'm like the brother said, man, if it was so important to you, why the fuck you didn't buy it? You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck you didn't buy it? You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck you and your people to get together, your friends get together, put y'all money and y'all buy it and make it more black America? You know what I'm saying? Because it don't mean shit to you, man. It's just to keep up some bullshit. For us, we let some motherfucker come over there and put a bug in our ear. We get into all this old bullshit, this nativist shit, man. Man, these motherfuckers don't give a fuck about your black ass neither. But I'm just saying, Buana, to answer your question, hey man, to lighten up a little bit, to answer your question, this is what we did, man. That's a good question because I used to ask myself the same thing about the blues. Like you said, a music that African people created here, and that we created the blues that we know today here, but we know where it came from. We know that it came from Mali. It came from West Africa. We know from the griots. Okay, one thing we did, I give us credit for. We did. We started waking up. We started waking up in the last some years. Okay, because somewhere we looked up and said, man, you know what? We go to these blues concerts. You know what I'm saying? Now I remember back in the late '80s when Bobby Bland and them was still going around when he did his Angel album. And a lot of other guys. They was on these small labels like Malaco Records. That was like a big. It used to be a gospel label. But a lot of blues artists went off of that label. And they basically was doing like chitlin circuit kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Except for the handful of brothers, who had a name like Bobby Bland, like from the brother from down here, it's a brother from South Louisiana. I'm trying to think his name now. He was from South Louisiana, but he was bred I can't think. It'll come to me. I'll put it in the chat. But anyway, he's up in Chicago now, man. His daughter was a rapper. That chick used to be with Ludacris. Her name was Shauna. But anyway, what happened? We did this here. We started seeing that. And we started seeing like the white folks was like coming in and really was trying to co-opt it. You had all these groups like Clapton and them, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and a whole bunch of them coming in, Boss Skaggs, and them. They basically was co-opting the blues. Next thing, I mean, it wasn't number white folks singing the blues then. But see what we did, we got slick. And we came with another thing. Now I know y'all don't know that much about it, but I know me and Bakari know about it. Cause it's our neck of the woods. See, it's what the blues is for us now. We call it Southern Soul. We don't call it blues no more. It's still the blues. Some people call it the party blues or whatever. But see, we call it Southern Soul. It's like, with the brother who came out with the record today, Where Them Fans At? You know what I'm saying? Which is a big song right now. And they white folks been trying to do the dances and you know what I'm saying? They try to get, see, they ain't caught on to it yet though. But you know what I'm saying? We kind of woke up a little bit. We seen what was happening. And so we kind of like, it's just like, you had to adapt to a situation. You know what I'm saying? And like, I was glad that we did that. Like, we still got that root blues. It's just like in Jamaica, in the Caribbean. Hey, you had a roots reggae, that old the reggae that I love. You know what I'm saying? The old reggae with the Jacob Miller and them. You know what I'm saying? It was old Burning Spear, Pablo Moses, and all them brothers. You know what I'm saying? But then, later on in the 90s, you start having the dance hall music, which is like a derivative of reggae. Because, a lot of, in reggae, a lot of start having a lot of white folks listening at it, Japanese. And so they start watering down reggae. And so the brother, let's say, well, we going to get slick. And we went into dance hall music. It's the same thing that we did with blues, man. They started watering it down and messing with it and trying to turn it into something else. So we did it, came and made it. We came up with something else, and we call it Southern Soul. They hadn't caught on to it yet. They can't sing it. Well, I'm just saying, things happen. Things, we go through changes and stuff. We redo, we reinvent it. We reinterpret things like that, and we just got to look at it like that, man. This whole Essence Fest thing. What we got to do, number one, if it's that important to us, we got to grab a hold of it again. We got to get it again and put it in our hands, and we got to expand it past everything that it used to be. Because obviously what it used to be ain't working no more. You know what I'm saying? Once we done let those other people get a hold to it, and they done fucked it up. So when we get it now, we got to quit talking about all this old making it just Black American and stuff like that. We got to expand it. We got to realize that we part of a bigger thing, man. We part of a wider African diaspora. We got to incorporate the Caribbean. We got to incorporate Bahamian music and Zouk music. You know what I'm saying? We got to incorporate Kumba and everything and Afro-Brazilian music. We got to incorporate music from the continent. You know what I'm saying? To expand to our people, include our people in it. We can't just be stuck on. We can't be stuck on the goddamn plantation, like the brother said. You ain't went nowhere past your block, so you don't know no. They don't know nothing else. I don't know nothing else. I mean, goddamn, man. I was just listening at yesterday. These brothers. I was listening to some Bahamian folk music. These brothers were doing some Bahamian. That's why I was messing with Born about the Baha man. But I was listening to this Bahamian folk music, man. I can't remember the song. I got the video, and it sounded like almost like one of those childhood games, Born, that the kids used to play, like knick-knack. It sounded kind of like that. But it was these brothers, the Bahamian brothers, doing some Bahamian folk music. You know what I'm saying? And it made me think about these brothers in the Bahamas. I mean, up in northern Mississippi, up in the Delta area. I don't know if Bakar heard of Ophakar. This brother, they had the drum and fight band from northern Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to it. I said, man, this stuff sounding like, man. If you listen at it, you can look up the drum and fight music of northern Mississippi, up in the Delta region. Like the biggest guy was like Ophakar. No, he's dead now. He's an ancestor now, but he was like the biggest guy in the 70s and stuff, the 60s and 70s. But they got a young sister now. She's pretty big. A lot of people don't even know about it. But I'm saying I was looking at the connectivity, the way this music sounds, and the way that music in the Bahamas sounds, and the way that music in the Caribbean sounds. So we got to get up off of this old plantation shit that right here in America is the end all be all, man. No, we got to look past that, look past these shores, and look to our kin folks in the Caribbean, in the wider diaspora, and on the continent, man. We got to expand it and make it more inclusive of all our people, and that's the way Essence Fest, if we love it, will come back. And I'll knock off right there.
Appreciate it, Anthony. Black Steel, Buona, any last statements, whether it's about Anthony's remarks?
Yeah, some good. If you're interested in Bahamian music, well, some of the artists I like is KB is a good guy. He's played a lot of Bahamian music. Swain and the Citation, Sandra. That's one of my favorite songs, Sandra. You have the Obeah Man. the old band mine. He used to sing with what's the lady name who sang Porgy? Porgy, I love you, Porgy. What's the lady's Nina Simone? He made some albums with Nina Simone. So if you're interested, try to check them guys out. You may find them to be interesting as far as Bahamian artists. Not just the Bahamian is really they very commercial. They're very commercialized. So if you want to hear some good Bahamian music, Swing and Citations, Obey Mine, KB is a lot of music. A lot of Bahamians kind of like are drawn towards. It's another guy too, but I can't remember him now. But it's a lot of artists from the Bahamas.
Hey, boy, I'm gonna go and find it. I'm gonna come back and tell you who it was.
Okay.
Black Steel, any last remarks on anything that the panelists had stated, as well as
no other remarks? We can move on to shout outs. I know this is our last topic.
Hey, all right. Before we get into the shout outs, I do want to state because we really got really deep. I love the passion and the conviction in Bakari and Nappy's statements about how nonsensical it is on social media about the divide that is trying to spread on social media between the Africans in America and the Africans everywhere else. A little personal story, real quick. I'm a Kenyan, but my stepfather that raised me in the United States is from South Sudan, the mighty country of South Sudan, who celebrated their Independence Day this week. 14 years, man. And he married a woman that is African American from Kansas City. And at no point from my middle school years all the way till I graduated until now did she ever look at me and my siblings ever different. So I never grew up knowing a divide, ever, at least in my family. So it's pretty awesome to see. With that being said, now let's get into we got people dropping off. So first, shout outs. Shout out to all the panelists. This is not my shout out, but I just want to say thank you for all the panelists that had joined. Cheryl, Bakari, Nappy, and anybody else. Please forgive me. I appreciate you guys more than you know. With that being said, let's go into the shout outs.
Hey, Jagadero.
Yes, sir.
Jagadero. I'm sorry, I just got back. I want to just tell Buana who that group was.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, his name was Israel Forbes, Buana. Israel Forbes, and the group was called the Dancing Those Singers. The Dancing Those Singers.
That's it. Yeah, you went all about it.
Yeah.
All right, and let's get into the shout outs here. We'll start off with Black Steel. Black Steel, what shout outs you got for us tonight?
Man, shout out to Donald Trump. So, as if everyone probably knows, that Trump made a promise to reveal the Jeffrey Epstein client list, to reveal the high pedophiles in government, and he said that there's no list, and Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. So he is online now going insane because people will not drop this list. They want to know. Trump knows he's on the list. The call is coming from inside the house. He's one of them pedophiles on the list. So he's online having a meltdown because they don't want to let it go. The cult is not culting anymore. So I hope nothing but the worst things possible for this man and everybody who follows him. So yeah, that's funny to me.
Koku, if the copyright from Joe Budden's podcast showing doesn't do it for this episode, it might be Black Steel's statements towards the President of the United States. Buana, what shout outs you got for us tonight?
Yeah, shout out to, let me first say this. Shout out to Black Steel. And the reason why I say shout out to Black Steel is Black Steel has always been a consummate teacher, and he always has a very sober commentary, and I learn a lot from all the brothers on the panel, Black Steel, Anthony, all the brothers on the panel. But I say shout out to Black Steel for his consistency, so shout out to him. Shout out to Anthony and Brother Bakari. My lady loves Anthony and Brother Bakari because she feels that y'all keep me on my toes. I don't let me get away with anything. So so shout out to Anthony and Brother Bakari. Shout out to Jacadero. Jacadero taught me something tonight. And he taught me something very much so when he said that he supports the president, irrespective of sometimes he may not carry the opinions that he likes. He respects the seat. So, in terms of protocol, I I had to think about that. I really had to think about it. Like, I'm like, this clock's like, but because he is my prime minister is my prime minister, I gotta say he's my prime minister. Yeah? so I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. But I have to respect the position, I guess. So he taught me something tonight, and the fact that he brings a different kind of energy to the show, a very youthful energy, because he's from another generation. I appreciate his commentary. So anyone under the sound of my voice, please, if you can, support his organization, the Empowerment Network. Support it if you can. Try to reach out to him and try to see where you could assist him in terms of doing whatever is necessary in Utah. I know they only used to growing corn in Utah, but still try to support him as much as possible. And to everyone else who would have made commentary tonight, positive commentary. Napi came on tonight to give his contribution, and all the other brothers and sisters, Cherylees. Shout out to you all as well for giving valuable contributions to the show. And I'll just leave it there.
Wanda, you got me about to shed a gangster tear here, man. I appreciate you, man. And Anthony, what shout outs you got for us tonight, man?
Yeah, man. Hey, boy, I thought Jacadero lived in Nebraska, man. You talking about Utah, man?
Let one
he trying to put you over there with. He trying to put you over there with the Mormons, man.
I'm drinking a little bit. My bad, Jacadero. My bad, man.
Hey, I'm drinking on that Jose Cuervo too, and I ain't messing up that bad. But hey, man, first I'm gonna give a small shout out to myself because for the simple fact I came on here with wearing on my jaw and I was gonna bust Jacadero side his head. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? He disowned me when I got on. I said I'm gonna save it the next time because I was gonna get him about his president Rudo. Yeah, one of your president Phil Davis ain't there. Hey, far away from my list either. But hey man, I'm gonna give a shout out to all the brothers on the panel, man. Shout out to the sister Cheryl Ezzy, man. You know what I'm saying? And like Bonner, man, Black Steel, he's a very knowledgeable brother too, man. And I learned a lot from him, even though we be going at it a little bit. But I learned a lot from him too, man. His commentary, like I say, he always give us that great analysis, man. And Brother Bakari, my country cousin, doing his thing, man. And it was just a great all around show, man. I just want to give one shout out to Burkina Faso, man, for completing that big canal, man, that they just did, man. That's gonna bring a lot of irrigation to a lot of farmland in the country, man. And for showing us that we could do it without getting on our knees, man. You know what I'm saying? We could do it, set it up on our feet. You know what I'm saying? And a big shout out to Burkina Faso and to the Sahel brothers, man, and to all of the black people all over the world who doing positive stuff for us and for our interests. And I'll leave it at that, man. Peace, brothers and sisters.
Thank you, Anthony. Man, where do I even go? You guys are awesome, man. My shout outs, 2 shout outs, 3 shout outs. First shout out, all the panelists. Thank you guys, the men and women. Khalid Muhammad used to say this all the time: hold the line, hold the line. And you guys are always holding the line. I appreciate you guys. And the women, Hold the line, hold the line. We love a woman's perspective. If you're hearing this, do not ever be too shy to get on this and speak your truth. We love to hear it. We're here because we are not only here for us, but we're also here in tandem with you. Shout out to Koku, man. Thank you so much, man, for giving me the honor. I hope this episode doesn't get copyrighted. Joe Budden, if you're listening to people of Joe Budden's podcast, please excuse that clip. Again, we needed context of the festival. And then last but not least, of course, I am Jacadero and I represent Omaha, Nebraska. Unlike what Buana had said, the mighty Omaha, Nebraska. We are home to the Empowerment Network, the strongest and largest Black organization here in the Midwest that is made to empower you and your business and any venture that you have going on. We partner with cities such as Tulsa, Oklahoma, Houston, Texas, Memphis, Tennessee, Little Rock, Arkansas, Cincinnati, Ohio, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Kansas City, Missouri, and everything outside and in between. Go to the Empowerment Network that you see on your screen here at www.empowermentnetwork or empoweromaha.com and facebook.com/empowerment network. With that being said, this is Shoot the Breeze on the Bitter Medicine Podcast, episode 202. Buana, I know that you said that you kind of don't like Vibes Cartel. Well, that's fine. We're going to end it off with a jam of Afrobeat Hour, the legend, the icon, WizKid. Let's go! It's legendary beat.
Thanks for listening to the Bitter Medicine Podcast with your host, Koku. If you like what you just heard, we hope you pass along our web address, bittermedicineblogs.com, to your friends and colleagues, and share our show to all your social media. Be sure to check out our archive section on our website for previous podcasts. This has been a KWAZ radio production. Join us next time for another session of the Bitter Medicine Podcast. Follow us on Facebook at Bitter Medicine Show, Twitter, Bitter Meds, Tumblr, Bitter Meds, Instagram, Bitter Medicine.